can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
On this day to never forget, the annual ceremony is held from New York to the Pentagon to Pennsylvania, remembering the nearly 3,000 lives lost in the 9/11 attacks.
President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump traveled to Pennsylvania today to the sacred ground at the Flight 93 National Memorial to honor the brave passengers and crew who rose up against the 9/11 hijackers.
A piece of America's heart is buried on these grounds, but in its place has grown a new resolve to live our lives with the same grace and courage as the heroes of Flight 93.
Their plane crashed, but those 40 heroes saved an unknown number of people at the terrorists' intended target, believed to be the U.S. Capitol building. In Shanksville, Pennsylvania, Molly Line, Fox News.
One of the features of New York's 9/11 memorial is a tree.
It's known as the Survivor Tree, a calorie pear that survived the 9/11 attacks, and its seedlings are spreading hope to more than just visitors to New York. The seedlings are tended to by students at John Bowne High School in Queens.
When we started to tell the stories to the kids and hear them tell the stories to other kids, we realized that we were really charged with a lot more than just arboriculture.
Assistant Principal Steve Perry says those stories are the best lesson.
That explain to you what this tree means to them and to their family. You realize that it's really quite an important task that we've taken on.
Survivor Tree seedlings have been sent to the sites of other attacks, including Manchester, England, Orlando, and Newtown, Connecticut. In Lower Manhattan, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The Vatican says Pope Francis will meet with top U.S. church officials this Thursday, including the head of the U.S. Bishops' Conference over allegations of a Vatican cover-up of an abuse scandal. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local inspired breakfast. AM loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Hafide and good morning. Guam news time is 6:07 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Mindy Egg, and here are some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The government of Guam is scheduled to resume to normal today. There is no school for Guam Department of Education students as post-typhoon assessments continue. A number of schools are working to address significant debris on campus, water leaks, flooding, and power outages. GDOE classes are expected to resume tomorrow, giving time for that cleanup today. iLearn and Guahan Academy have also canceled classes and are scheduled to resume tomorrow. All Dodea classes are canceled today due to continued power outages and subsequent issues with air conditioning in certain buildings. Dodea staff are asked to report in no later than 12 noon today. Meanwhile, the Office of the Superintendent of Catholic Education has announced that Father Duenas Academy, Santa Barbara, Mercy Heights, Infant of Prague, Mount Carmel, Bishop Baumgartner, Maria Artero Catholic Preschool and Kindergarten, and Dominican will have classes today. That's Dominican in Jigo. Other Catholic schools are still experiencing no power or low to no water pressure and are expected to resume on Thursday. Government of Guam operations, as I mentioned, resume today, as does the Judiciary of Guam. All judiciary employees have been directed to report back to work for regular business hours. The clerk of court will reschedule all hearings, jury trials, and jury selection proceedings. Jurors are advised to call the jury recording system after 5 p.m. today for their next jury instructions. The District Court of Guam will also open for business as usual at 8 a.m. Upon the reopening of the court, all current jurors will be provided with specific instructions by court staff as to when to appear next at court. Traffic control resumed just a few minutes ago at non-functional traffic lights, so as you head out, please drive cautiously and watch out for National Guard members and police officers who are directing traffic today. And the Guam Power Authority crews have been working tirelessly throughout the night with overlapping shifts to continue restoration efforts. Those efforts continue this morning. They say most repairs to transmission lines have been completed, allowing crews to repair distribution lines that feed power directly to island homes and businesses. GPA says the crews are working as quickly as possible to restore power to as many places that are left without it today. And Typhoon Mangkhut has turned into a super typhoon with maximum winds of 160 miles per hour. The current forecast track takes it just a little north of Luzon on Saturday. More news after the break.
Morrico Equipment stocks and sells a wide variety of heavy equipment parts. They sell heavy equipment parts to keep Guam trucking, building, digging, pushing, grading, protecting, and patrolling. If you are looking for service, repair, or replacement parts for your heavy equipment, call Morrico on Ipow Road at 649-1946 or click on morricoequipment.com. Morrico Equipment, heavy equipment parts.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
10 minutes past 6 a.m. here on The Point on this Wednesday morning. Esta Hattie and her sister Carita spent Monday night at Machinauno Elementary School waiting anxiously for Typhoon Mangkhut to pass. They were not prepared for what they would return home to find. Their home completely destroyed. Everything is gone, she said. The yellow painted tin walls of the wood and tin structure had fallen over as the roof collapsed, and wooden beams and plyboard succumbed to Mangkhut's typhoon force winds. They spent Tuesday cleaning, trying to pick up the pieces and figure how to get help and rebuild their home. Guam Office of Homeland Security and Civil Defense Administrator Charles Estevez said the agency is working with island mayors to transition residents like Esta and her sister to the second-tier shelter that's been identified. That's at Estumbo Gym in Dedido. Estevez said he's working with FEMA and volunteer organizations to provide assistance to all those that were displaced from Mangkhut. Meanwhile, Governor Eddie Calvo said the island is now in recovery phase. He's looking forward to getting government operations back to normal. Assessments were conducted throughout the island to determine the extent of damage and estimate the costs associated with it. Calvo intends to write a letter to President Donald Trump for assistance and urged residents to document any damage to their homes and property. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray now with the weather.
Wow, just a regular old fashioned weather forecast that we get to give you for today. How's that? Partly sunny skies with isolated showers, Mindy. Thunderstorms are in the forecast as well. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Daytime highs today should be about 86 degrees. We can expect overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Sunset tonight about 6:24. Sunrise at 6:09. Now we'll take a quick look at the weather radar and see what our near-term forecast is going to look like. To explain the nothing on the screen, here's Mike Knight.
Yeah, it looks a whole lot different than it did even yesterday. Yeah. So just a few isolated showers will be rolling through from the southeast. Looks like that's going to continue really for the next few days as we've got plenty of moisture still left in the air and instability. So don't be surprised if you get a shower or two this afternoon. But the typhoon is over. So that's the best news I can give you. And boy, what a monster it turned out to be.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, Super Typhoon Mangkhut now looking a bit annular, although not completely, but it's starting to get that shape. And basically, when you say annular, that's a perfect round storm. I mean, it's just like a disc, and it's pretty close to that, but it's moving away, and not much to look forward to down the pike either. Checking the models, people kind of worried about clouds out to the east.
Yeah, let's talk about that here for just a second, because there were all the pictures floating around on the internet, and a couple of news people decided that let's try to scare the hell out of some people, everybody else by looking at this cloud structure down in the Marshalls. That if you can take a look at the satellite map today, it's virtually gone.
Yeah, it's just clouds. It's just a weak area of convergence. A typical thing along the ITCZ. Nothing to get worried about at all.
Yep. All right. So that's what we got for you. That's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
It's Wednesday. It's the day I don't call hump day, because I figure everybody else on the planet's going to call it hump day. So I try to be different. So today is going to be Pork Sinigang Day. That's how I want you to remember the day that comes in the middle of the week. That you got Monday and Tuesday on one side, you got Thursday, Friday on the other, and you'd like to call it a hump day, but you don't want to be like everybody else. So we'll call it Pork Sinigang Wednesday. That's the big special for lunch today at King's, or choose a pick 2 or pick 3 combo. It's lunch at King's.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
And just as long as you got electricity. Portions of the program brought to you by American President Lines. They're shipping your generator. GRMC, first choice for all of your open heart surgery needs. American WaterTech, Smarter Water, Better Water, and Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar.
The dreaded flu season is here, but FHP Health Center has got you covered. Protect yourself from the flu by taking advantage of FHP's Flu Clinic, open to all ages from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at FHP Health Center on Saturday, September 15. The clinic is free for Take Care members and those with Medicare Part B primary medical insurance, $20 for individuals with Take Care as secondary medical insurance, and $25 for self-pay non-members. Walk-ins accepted. For more info, call FHP at 646-5825.
It's time for a Wendy's break. Wendy's 4 for $4, giving customers like you great value for just $4. You got 8 options to choose from. The all-time favorites like the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, Crispy Bacon BLT, both which feature bacon, or the Double Stack Sandwich, all coming complete with nuggets, fries, and a drink. That's why they call it 4 for $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, this we're going to do morning talk that matters all morning, and I think the only thing that really matters to people is when's my electricity coming back on? Where's the power? I got people chiming in on the Facebook Live on battery power. I can imagine people, just doing the whole MacGyver situation, going, I gotta keep the computer going, and they figured out a way to string the wires from the adapter for the computer out to the car battery. Just doing one of these things. Put this terminal. But we've got electricity, so we can keep the internet going, and I can stay up on what's happening with Ray and Mindy, and we got Mike Knight gets the phone when you call at 888-8255. What a thing! What a thing! What have we got here? Got asking the question. Got power? Is your power on Wednesday? That's what we're going to call it. And Bruce Johnson saying no, not in Jigo yet. Good morning. Power back on in mighty First Hawaiian Bank area at 5 o'clock this morning. All right, Rico, appreciate you chiming in. 20 minutes ago says her power just came back on, still out in parts of Estumbo with the little crying face, emoji. So they're very, very sad there. A saying, almost forgot how it felt. Is in and out of the car all night long. Wow, what a thing. We'll talk about this in some of the other comments in just a second. But first, let me just say welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3. The Point. Yeah, we've had our own share of power issues yesterday. It's one of those things where, how hard times don't build character as much as it reveals character. Hard times like this will reveal all of the chinks in your armor, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting there, yesterday morning coming in, all the radio stations are on, I'm feeling real groovy, and that feeling went away about 11 o'clock yesterday when we lost the point and Boss 104 because of one, you know what it was that caused us to be without power for a couple hours yesterday? One of these things, you would never think to check it. It was a bolt on the fan belt assembly on the generator at the Aludum site.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
Just something as simple as that. You're looking at the fuel, you're looking at the connections, all of this other stuff, and the guy says, yeah, the generator's going off because of thermal protection. I said, why would that happen? He says, because the oil temp's getting too hot. And I said, well, why would that happen? He said, well, because it's not cooling. And you work backwards from there, and the guy says, well, the fan thing is not moving. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what that is. All right, put that down. Call the guys over at Marco. They're going to come by today and fix it all up. That's the way it works with us around here. Hopefully, you will, before the end of the day, get the electricity back. But it's one of those things where you don't kind of want to move yet because you're hearing that they're like on the way. You pass by the store down the street and you see the guys with the bucket trucks and the ladder trucks, and you're going, they're almost here. They're almost here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to stay right here because they're going to turn on the lights any second now. And you wait, and then you go, well, maybe they're not coming, but you've already invested the time, so you wait a little bit longer, and then it's dinner time, and then you've got to feed the kids. So what'd you eat last night?
We ordered Burger King, or actually my husband went to get it because I was still working last night at 6:30.
Oh, my. Yeah. Tough, long days for you here these days, huh? Yeah.
I went home and I crashed out and woke up at 11-something to my son still playing video games. Mm-hmm. And I said, Kingsley, get to bed. And then he looks over at the cable box and he goes, Mom, the internet, the cable's back on.
There's
I'm like,
time.
Yeah, get to bed, no Fortnite.
Now, for the uninitiated, what is Fortnite?
I don't know. It's this video game that the kids and apparently some adults are addicted to.
Yeah. It's kind of like a super
crack for
immersive
kids.
game, super immersive form of Zelda, from what I understand.
So is that what the kids are having withdrawals on these days?
It's got dancing, it's got shooting, it's got like Minecraft where you
exploration
you have to get
and all
things.
kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it. But they love it.
Yeah, apparently so.
I don't have time to play it, or I would.
I don't know.
I'm fired up right here.
No, could you get away with it? Is it something that... Could we play it in the morning? You know what? Somebody send me a video of screen caps and stuff, and because I've never seen it of the Fortnite thing. Send it to me, and then we'll play it on the WhatsApp and the Facebook Live, and then everybody can get the chance to see what it is. Apparently, it's like crack for kids is the deal, and what they have been chiming about and going on about. That's why they need the electricity.
The kids have been roughing it.
Yeah. Here's another phrase that you pick up: juice box. You know what a juice box is, right?
I'm guessing it's not the one. The
It's
juice
not
box.
actually juice comes in. The juice box is a thing you can buy at the gas stations, right? You get them at the gas stations.
Oh, the power.
Yeah, the power, the little power box.
banks.
You know, the biggest milliamps per hour. That's what you're looking for, and that's what's keeping people's phones alive. So you bring the juice box to the office, you charge it up, and then you've got a way to keep your phone and your internet life going for the rest of the day and the night. So it got to be about dinner time last night. I'm all finished with my chores, cleaning up everything, and doing all the prep and everything that I got to do. And I thought, I'm going to go and eat dinner. And I had this hankering in my head for the chorizo burger over at Mosa's.
You are such a burger person.
Everybody in the world was
Was there?
at Mosa's last night. It's just a line stretch out the door. And I was thinking, well, maybe there's a couple of other places that I can go. And I thought, well, you know what? I'll just find myself in other places with the line stretched out the door because, for heaven's sakes, nobody seemed to have any electricity last night.
Well, I guess it's the same thing because I sent my husband. I said, "Hey, I'm starving. I want a burger. Can you just go run to Wendy's, go get me a burger?"
Yeah.
They had closed already, and then he went to Burger King, and
Wendy's
I checked on
closed?
him.
They never closed.
I checked on him like 45 minutes later. I said, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Everybody is here."
There's no gas stove in the stove, and there's no power at the house, and there's no even if we had even if there was a gas stove, you still don't want to eat in the house because it's hot. So get out there and explore life. So what did you end up doing for dinner? 888-8255. Send me the deal on the Facebook Live. About time to say good morning to everybody on Facebook Live. I think.
Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna be where you can see the troubles are all the same. You wanna be where everybody knows your name.
There's Dora Marie Fegiger, Jeff Ojeda, Rico Blancaflor waving Juanita Machi this morning. Ken Duenas reporting that there is no power in Zotnia. And Brad Hewitt in full-on complaint mode says, GovGuam, every agency, anytime, all the time, their favorite word is assessment. Well, guess what? For those of us who have no power, their assessment is worthless. Tired of hearing we're conducting an assessment. What this means is that those agencies, as usual, are in over our heads, and we're assessing themselves on how to handle the situation, not handling the situation itself. Brad, where you at? Let's see if we can get you electricity as quick as possible. Ismael is online this morning, reporting that power's still out in Telefofo. Paris Blas will always have Paris. Vince Duenas, Randy Kruger waving at me this morning. Eunice Mendiola, Dora Marie, and already mentioned her saying good morning. For every truck I see, Brad says, that has someone in the bucket twisting a wrench, 10 more waste fuel driving up and down the street with flashing lights. Obviously assessing, but not much else. Waiting patiently for power to return, says Eunice. Power out in Tamuning and Ordot still. Terrence Walker says nothing in the back road. Jennifer Posh-Nitger is joined. Judy Shockley, who's saying good morning to us. That's nice. Kat Phillips. Hoffa Teach? No school today again, huh? Cindy Cruz Rapadas. Hello, dear. Letitia Lujan, Carissa Flores, Jennifer Louise Dula. I see Big Sister Shelley is up. Thank you for the Linda's Burger yesterday. I couldn't eat it when it was delivered, so I stuck it in the radio station fridge, and as soon as I got off the air, I took it out, and I stuck it in the radio station microwave oven, because we are equipped thus, and about 3 minutes later, it was gone. The burger was complete. I inhaled the thing. God, those are so good. And apparently, Linda's was probably busy 24 hours because what I'm told is they never shut down. Jude Remotegi, Joseph Michael, Bertman and Salas says, in Dededo, GPA is... Can I say that on the air? He's up in Dededo. It says GPA attackments live around here, so we never lose power. That's nice. Mark Mendiola, Doris Mendiola, Jackie Diaz, John, Elaine, Muya Perez says nothing in Machinano yet, huh? Carl and Jerry Gutierrez. He's got his finger pointing up and a bang symbol. So that's our symbol for First Hawaiian Bank. Like that, we can do that when it's time for me to read a First Hawaiian Bank. And Lynn Tidinko is on. Brad Hokinson has joined this morning. Good morning. Ray from Naples, Maine. Is the power on in Naples? Shelley reporting, well, already had a room at Fiesta. She was going to be all right, okay. Henry McLaughlin, you need immediate help from GPA. Power's on, but smells burnt wire coming from the drop line, and he's left his number over at Camp Wheatek in Jonia. And Henry, thanks. We'll see what we can do for you. I'll try to remember that if we get a chance to talk to Art today. Lee Weber has joined. Darlene Blas, I see you there. Bob Lizamba. JP and Mindy Huggan are on. I don't know. Somebody from the house must have chimed in and let you. I got to see if I did.
Sorry if we get hello mommy again.
No, that's okay. I love seeing stuff like that. Linda Gabriel, Greg Massey is there. It's talking about front. What's the name of the game? Fortnite. Okay. A Camacho says it has surpassed Pokemon Go.
Yes.
I
agree.
Joe Michael says half a day from San Diego, California. Hey, you got power there? Send some power from Vallejo and San Diego out to go on Vivian Castro Leon. Mike King says no power in NBG. Power remains out on Murray Road in Upper Assen, Maina, according to Lee Weber. That's probably among the last places that's going to get any love from the Power Authority. Who's going to be last? That's what we always ask ourselves these days. Lynn Tedinko says Hoffa Ray, Renzo Osborne. I see you there. Jay Zaywert. I like saying his name like that. See, Zaywert, Franco Julian. Still no power on Wistig Road before Prime Mart area. Good morning, Ray and staff. Happy to have you along. Michelle Diego Kitchitsu, classmate Anita Muffness chiming in with a good morning wish. Brian, Amy, Clark, Rivera. We have power, but low voltage. There's a tree hanging on our service line. And when I came in this morning, we were talking about this yesterday. Here in the radio station, we got electricity from the guys over at the Guam Power Authority. I want to say just before we signed on yesterday morning, we won off generator power and back onto Island Power. I remember being very tickled about that. And then Mike goes out because Mike likes to look at things in the morning. So he went out to look at the clouds and look at the stars and see what the moon was like, and then came back in. He says, "You got to see this," and he showed me the transformer, and I would have loved to have taken a video of it at the time, but the truth of the matter is, if I had, you wouldn't have been able to see what I was talking about. But if I do this right, I might be able to pull the video up on our Facebook Live here. Just gotta see if I can get my video going. I might have to refresh that, because I sent it, but it's not there. No, I'll have to do it in a couple of minutes, maybe while the news is playing. I'll see. There's the video. Okay, and this will be a video of the transformers behind the building. Well, it says it came through. Don't you hate it when that happens? Don't you hate it when somebody says, I got to show you this thing on their phone?
Yeah.
And then they scroll through like a year's worth of pictures? Didn't that just make it crazy? I'll go, hey, this anytime soon I'll be able to watch this, right? I'll be able to see. No,
thing I asked him
Didn't I
is,
do that to you this morning?
like, have you ever heard of backing up your picture?
Or maybe, if you put a star, you can star messages and pictures on your WhatsApp. That way you can go right to them by going to a star folder. Well, I'll find it. I'll find it here in a second. We'll be able to get it to you. And the reason is because I'm happy that we've got electricity here in the building on the compound, but I'm really, really afraid that the pig behind us is going to explode because of the noise that it's making and the sparks that are emitting from it on a regular basis. And sometimes they get really bright. And I sit there and I go, I shouldn't be standing so close to this.
That's
because
what I thought. Yeah, I was out there. I was looking up at it yesterday. I was like, I probably shouldn't be this close to this
thing. It's going to
thing.
explode on me, and I don't think I need to spend the rest of the week in the hospital. No power at Wistig Road, but at least there's water. Power was on for a couple hours in the NCS area, but shut off again this morning. You know what? Art said that was going to happen when we talked to him yesterday. Was the system is in a kind of a delicate state, and what they'll do is they'll turn something on and see how long it holds. And then they'll turn something else on down the cascade, and sometimes that'll hold. And sometimes it turns something else on down the cascade, and that shuts everything else off. So it's kind of one of those things. And there are still places where we've got these power issues, and among them is going to be the roadways. On the way in, past no less than 3 traffic intersections where there was no intersection lights.
Everything from Route 1 and Route 16 by the mall.
Yeah.
Then the next one, what's that, going down Santos Hill?
Yep, that one's
then
out.
The one in front of the one after Nissan. I don't know, East-West Rental, right?
Yeah. So
they're all
we're going to try to get cops out there, right?
Yes, the cops, police officers, and the members of the Guam Army National Guard were supposed to be out there beginning at 6 a.m. this morning until 6 p.m.
Okay, and so, but if they're not there and the signal light doesn't work, what are you supposed to do?
Drive very cautiously.
Treat
That's
treat
what
as
I
a
did.
four-way stop.
Just ease your way out into the intersection.
What did you say, party pooper? What's that?
Got to treat that as a four-way stop.
So Mike's
yes,
the adult
okay, sorry.
supervision. He's the one. Whenever I'm having a good time, he's the one says, "You better calm down now. You better you're getting in over your head now. You better calm down."
That's
there,
why
Ray.
I grow the facial hair.
Okay, so here's
Michael Knight, the voice of reason.
Exactly. He's the guy. He's
Never
the
been
guy-
called that before.
Yeah. So you've heard the phrase "hold my beer," right? He's the guy that would hold the beer.
I would hold the beer for
All
you.
right. So here's the thing: when you approach the intersection and the lights don't work, and there's no policeman or guard guy at the intersection, you're supposed to treat it as a four-way
You
stop.
should treat that as a four-way stop.
In
Although
theory.
a California stop is sufficient if there is no traffic at the light. But
Because technically there was no red light to stop
exactly.
at.
See,
Oh,
and
that's so. Yeah, Shelley chiming in. This is how you can tell we're related. Cute cops at Harmon Loop Road yesterday. Thanks for the eye candy. So what are you asking for? You'll get more attention if we send guys out there to direct traffic with no shirts. Is that what you're looking for? Let's send some of the firemen out there. Just have
no, this
them
is
out
the
there,
second time in 2 days that stripper music would have been really timely on this show.
Where's that music bed when you need it?
6:32. We better jump into headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Mindy Uggan.
33 minutes after 6 a.m., here are some of the headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo has written a letter to President Donald Trump to request approval of a federal emergency declaration for Guam following Typhoon Mangkhut. Bordallo said it would allow federal resources to be made available to assist Gov Guam and local families and businesses with recovery efforts. Bordallo requested that the president direct FEMA to authorize hazard mitigation, public assistance, and individual assistance for Guam. The Guam Solid Waste Authority will resume trash collection this week after 2 days of delays from the typhoon. Those residents who normally have their trash pickup on Monday will have their trash collected today. Tuesday's routes will be collected tomorrow. Wednesday's routes will be collected on Friday, and Thursday's routes will be collected on Saturday. Waste collection operations will resume per the regular schedule beginning next Monday. And the Guam Election Commission meets tonight to tabulate absentee and qualified provisional ballots. And once that's done, the commission is expected to finally certify the primary election results. The agency, meanwhile, awaits the release of fiscal year 2016 funding to pay off outstanding debts from the August 25th primary, including the payment of precinct officials, the use of facilities, and security. That money is also needed to order the general election ballots that must be mailed out no later than September 21st. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
I think we might be able to get somebody to do that for you. 6:34 in the morning, and that is iConnect time. Never been a better time to think about push to talk. 888-8888. Give them a call this morning if you are in a situation with your post typhoon recovery is in a situation where you don't even have time for the blue check marks on WhatsApp. You need to get a hold of guys or a guy or the entire team. At the same time, push to talk technology is still around, and it works even better today than it did before. Smartphone push to talk technology, as a matter of fact. Find out more at iConnect. 888-8888.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
That craving that you just can't put your finger on, that need that your mouth has, that you just can't, what is that flavor I'm looking for? It's hot pastrami is what it is. It's a pastrami sandwich. That's what your mouth is craving. That's what you're going to be thinking about at lunchtime today. And if you get that pastrami feeling in your mouth, there's only one place to find it, and that is at Subway. Yes, they've got hot pastrami. It's back. Beautiful cuts of meat, and you can put it on whatever kind of bread you like. Try it on a wrap while you're there. Put your favorite condiments on. That's half the fun of eating over at Subway is being able to dress it up the way you like it. Yeah, toast that kind of cheese, that kind of bread, and hot pastrami for a limited time only at Subway.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Nothing really to report right now. There is GovGuam today, but there is no schools today, and I'll get through the list here in a couple of minutes. But I am looking at traffic beginning to build up oddly northbound Marine Corps Drive oddly, and I think it's people that are either heading to Wendy's or the what's the other one? What's the other burger joint up there? Jack in the Box. It looks like there's a bunch of people that are headed up in that direction, and because it starts to dissipate once you get past Goodies. So that's what I think is happening. Nothing else to worry about, nothing else to alarm you or slow you down while you're on the road here. We are finally in condition of readiness 4, right? And that's good news. The big deal yesterday was waiting until we got back to 4. And apparently the base commander up at Anderson was starting to turn people around. And we got to talking with a guy outside, had gone all the way up to Anderson Air Force Base, got turned around, and had to come back into town over here, sitting around waiting to get to work on the other side of the gate. So finally that happened, and that's good news. Nothing like that going on this morning. Clear sailing through all of the main gates here today, Anderson Air Force Base, Navy Hospital, and Big Navy down in Sumai at 6:37. That's right now traffic on the point.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco, 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Hey, good morning, Mo Cotton and Mike. Now to Lillian Cruz is on the Facebook Live this morning. Felix Rages, who says, great to see Mindy back on the air. So professional. Oh, she's got that Asian blush thing going on right now. It's so cute. Buenos Ray, Mindy, and Michael. Good to see you there. Who's saying that? Lillian is saying that. Half a day and good morning. Deanna Palmer, are there still people in the shelters? How are they doing? You know what? We'll get an update as quickly as we can on something like that because we recognize that there are people in the shelters. That is going to be an issue for the guys at the Guam Department of Education. And then the other part of it is what happens when they leave the shelters and go home. There's a bunch of stories that will just tug at your heartstrings of people that were in the shelters or couldn't make it to the shelters, had to weather the storm in these less than adequate houses, and a guy was so scared to being in the house while the storm was going on, he weathered it in the car. Yeah, went into the car. All kinds of stories like that. So what happens with these folks living in substandard housing? At which time are we going to get the word from FEMA on what they're going to be able to cover? So we'll try to get some of those questions answered for you here this morning. Din Torres Seguenza reporting no power in Iseng Song. Time to plunder. Says Jeff. I'd be careful. There is a story about a guy, one of these stores, a little Korean store out somewhere, that got robbed apparently in the middle of the typhoon. Somebody broke in behind the refrigerator deal and got their way in and helped themselves to cigarette and booze and a box of potato chips apparently. So somebody out there having a party at somebody. See, you got to be careful with this. I don't know if they've ever changed the law, but back in the Wild Wild West days, there was a thing called looting, and if you were caught looting while everybody else was hunkered down in the aftermath of an earthquake or a tsunami or a typhoon, you'd get shot and just shoot you. I'm sorry, we don't give quarter to anybody in those situations. You bang bang matayao. Brad saying the assessors work for us. We pay them. So as a result, shouldn't we, as their bosses, perform an assessment on their assessment and issue corrective actions we just had an election. Maybe we'll have another one here before too much longer, and we'll have people that can assess the assessors that we elect into office. Katie Baltazar is there. Richard Lynn Tovis and Alfred Mendoza. Ed Barbosa, and others on the Facebook Live, and the numbers are growing up again this morning. 888-8255 is the phone number, and I suppose, just reading from you, whether you've got power or not, is just as good as being able to call the guys over at the Guam Power Authority and find out where they are. As I said, and as we learned yesterday, don't seem to be any issues with generation. Getting the power out into the system is not a problem. It's just that the system is so delicate as a result of the high winds that we had in the other day, loosening things up. I tell you, I'll give you an example of how you can tell how delicate the systems are and how we are in need to batten down the hatches and tighten things up. I know you don't want to do this because, it's electricity and air conditioning and all of that, but drive around with the windows open. That way you can hear the noise coming off the lines, coming off of the overhead lines. Virtually all of them are making some kind of noise, a little buzz in the background, which indicates to me that things might be coming a little bit loose. I told you I finally got the thing up. I'm going to play a video for you that I shot this morning right out the back of the radio station. I zoom in so you can see the transformers.
You didn't curse during this, did
No,
you?
I didn't
Okay.
curse during it at all.
Turn the sound up.
You might hear my heart beating a little bit fast when the light starts to go a little bit brighter. And that's my transformer in the back of the building. And I'm, as I said, see, every once in a while, it'll do that. And I'm going, stand behind something. It's trying to like shooting around a corner with your gun. Because it's kind of spooky when it starts to brighten up like that. And it's been doing that since power was restored the other day.
Yeah, it's at least 24 hours at this point.
And it's 24 hours that you sent a request out to the guys at the Power Authority to look at it. And my guess is they're going, hey, are the lights on? Yes. Is it exploded yet? No. Are you dead? No. Okay, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll eventually get around because we got to get power back on in the Waisangsong area, and we got to get the lights moving at all the traffic intersections as much as possible. 888-8255. Let me get Glenn Leon Guerrero in, and so we can start talking about some of the challenges that DPW is facing this morning. Good morning, Glenn.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
Appreciate you being able to spend some time with us on the radio. I can imagine that you guys are significantly busy with recovery and repair of some of the traffic infrastructure. How was that job yesterday?
Oh, it was good. Good. We finished all the routed roads. Today we go back to the roads that we've cleared or shoved aside, and we pick up the debris. Also meeting with the Mayor's Council today, or Mayor Angel Saban, to talk about... hang on just a minute, Ray, just a minute.
Big Mac, large fries, medium Coke. Where do we catch him in the drive-thru? Not the first time. Hey, you ever go to the McMobile and ask the guys, okay, when they bring the food out to you, you ever go, hey, do me a favor, go in there, grab me a six-pack, too.
No, I've never done that.
Give me a liter. I need a liter of Mountain Dew. Can you just get me 2 of those? Are you there? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What are you getting me
I'd
for
like
breakfast?
biscuits and gravy, please.
Yeah.
I'm lazy today. I'm picking up my kids' breakfast.
No, it's try. Everybody else is doing it. Nobody was in the house last night. Everybody ate out. I don't know where'd you and your family go?
Sakura.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. That's it. So everybody, just what we got to do is just where we're eating tonight on Facebook Live, so that you can go through it and see, where's going to be crowded, where's not going to be crowded. I love Sakura, by the way. I'm glad that they were able to reopen. At any rate, so you've got the major routed roads done. Most of the light fixtures, it seems to me, the traffic signalization should be working if it gets electricity, right?
Yes. And for some of the lights or the signal intersections, we probably have to reset them, but and that's the task today. We're going to try to keep up with GPA, and I understand that there's a couple of them that are blinking, that have been blinking like at Cabras, and I'm not sure if Adelude is blinking. I've got to check out. We'll check on that, and then we'll get it up and running. We basically don't run at night, especially because it's kind of dark, and we worked the road crews pretty hard yesterday. They went from I think like 5 to 6 yesterday.
Yeah, long days.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as the sun comes up, you can start working, and as soon as it goes down, makes it that much more difficult to do. Aside from the roadways, what else are DPW crews going to be up to?
Basically, that we're again we're going to manage the debris waste, kind of deal with that, and like I said, lights.
Yeah, well, the debris waste that could be an entire show, because I've got green waste, I've got some new stuff that blew into yards and stuff like that I got to get rid of. My guess is I'm probably going to have to coordinate with the mayors, and the mayors will then coordinate with you, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. I'm going to let you get your kids' breakfast taken care of, Glenn. I'll see you pretty soon.
Roger that. Thanks, Rick.
Let me know which restaurant you're going to be going to tonight. 647, and the guy that all the restaurants can say thank you to for all of the additional business because nobody can cook at home because they can't turn the range on is Art Paris from the Guam Power Authority. Hey, Art, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, Ray. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm rested. I was able to find some hot food and cold beer last night, so I'm probably the happiest guy you know. And also happy because everywhere that I am responsible for has electricity. Radio station's got electricity, house got electricity, apartment got electricity. I'm good to go on the electrical side. I don't want to say too much, because you start talking like that and then the lights will go out immediately. So I'm just saying I'm happy because I've got it. But I'm getting messages. I got the on the radio station WhatsApp, a guy calling in says, please tell Art, still no power on back road to Anderson. Thank you for your public service. So add the back road to Anderson among the dark pockets that we've got on Guam. By what percentage has power been restored, Art?
We got a 50% of generation load that's already been restored, and we have about over 60% of the feeders that have been energized. That I can go down some of the areas that the line crews will be focusing on this morning. If you like.
Yes, please. But people are going to want to hear that. So where are you going to? Where's the focus areas today?
The focus area line crews will be heading out. They'll be going to Barragata areas at Mezang, Radio Barragata, Lower Barragata Heights, specifically the 11 tax area. I know Ms. Benito will be happy to hear about that.
Mm-hmm.
The Chalampago. Denado, we're going to go hit pocket areas within the village proper, Kaiser, South Liguan, Santina Mall area. Head along areas in West Sensum, Machinao, Woostic, Route 3 in Estumbo. They'll work in Ta'i Manila today. In Timuning, they'll work in areas in Harmon Loop.
I lost you. So people go, wait, did I hear him utter the syllable that sounds like my village, my place? Let's see if we can reconnect. Art, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, we lost you after Harmon Loop.
Oh, Harmon Loop, okay.
So
Harmon Loop, we're going to work towards St. John's area, Tillman Village Apartments, Harmon Industrial Park. Go up to Jigo, Route 1, Simon Sanchez High School area, Chalana Chance, Mataguan area. And then start working our way down south as well with Zotnia, taking Jotnia Village proper, Palimtet, Pago Bay area, and Elig River areas. Those are where the crews will be heading out this morning.
Okay. All right, understood. And now for people that are listening going, wait a second, Art didn't mention my place. Does that mean I'm never getting power back on, or is it lower on the list? Or is it possible that the power has been restored to your area, but you have problems at the weatherhead? What do we do in situations like that?
In situations like that, you will need to get a work clearance from the authorities so that you can isolate your residents. You need to get a certified electrician to complete the repairs, be it to the weatherhead, to your panel box, to your meter box. Excuse me, Ray. Get that inspected by DPW, and then once all the proper signatures have been gathered and obtained, give GPA a call with the proper paperwork.
Yeah,
and we'll be able to take you up and then they get you back on Island Power.
Now, it seemed to me the last time something like that happened to me, I called my guys over at Kindo, and they got my weatherhead all repaired, and I didn't need to show up anywhere. I just called and said, Kindo Electric, fix my weatherhead, and a guy came up to the house and put the meter back in. So, I mean, so it seems that out of a matter of expediency, there was not a whole lot of paperwork and a whole lot of line standing that I needed to be in.
Yeah, our main concern, Ray, is to make sure that the work is certified and we're clear for GPA to go back there and reconnect. And we'll most likely repeat the process again, but we do need to get the signatures and get clearances. And we sent that graphic over to the media yesterday.
I received the graphic. If you have Patty send it to me on the WhatsApp. Like a JPEG form or something like that, then I can put it up on my Facebook live screen for a little bit next time we're talking, and people can see where the responsibility is. I mean, there's things that are GPA and they'll take care of things like the lines and the transformer, and then the actual the meter, and then everything on the other side is kind of your issue here. So if it's on the other side of the meter, i.e. weatherheads and other interconnects on the inside of the house, then that's your problem, and you've got to get it taken care of before the line goes back on. If you don't mind, I'd like to go down. I got people that hear you on the show and want me to and are adding comments now because they want me to tell you where their power is out. So stand by for my list. Good morning. Still no power in Chalampago. Hopefully GPA restores power by the end of today. Your customer's name is Vince Castro down there. Mo Cottons, who says that they apparently got their power back on in Jonestown around 2 p.m. Is that so, Mo? I thought the power was out as late as last night in the area. Where's the rest of it? Good morning, Ray and Kev. No power in Jigo across the McDonald's there. No power. Chalanpadero and Hadza. Route 15 near Smith Bridge. You know where that is, right, Art?
Yeah, that's true. I know Smith Bridge and Padua and Hadza. I'm aware of those areas. Okay,
Lola Rojas is the name of the customer, and she wants to get her meter spinning again. If you don't mind, we'll turn on something down in that area. Elena Garcia says there's a nursery where power is not on, and parents need to head into work, but can't drop the kids there so they can get to work. Please ask Art. Nursery is in Antigua on Route 1. Ken Williams says hi. You got it? Ken Williams says hi. No power. Jigo off Gudzinero near the back road. A lot of people on Route 15 chiming in this morning.
Yeah, that's right. It's one of the areas I have to go back to.
Yeah. And that's all I got for you now. And I hate to put more pressure on the dispatch guys, but is there a way that people can call in to GPA and ask when their power is going to get restored?
Well, I would listen to to your show up at 10 o'clock as we get the updates, and then we'll keep the media abreast. I know you guys are partnering up with the Post, so we'll make sure that we get all the updated restoration areas, because this is the listing that I gave you is by no means finite. It's going to be a moving target for us going forward. And as we update it throughout the day, we'll most likely hit those places that you just mentioned to me.
Yeah, and I certainly appreciate it. So keep your ears on the Point 93.3, and make sure that you've got a current version of the Guam Daily Post app, or go to their website, because Art's going to be posting information on that. Obviously, you guys have got a Facebook page as well. Has somebody been detailed to ensure that somebody is adding places where power is on, or in the obverse case, where we know that power is off, but we're working towards that area? I think that would be very helpful for people to go to as well.
Yeah, that's correct, Ray. We're also closely monitoring that. We have staff and I want to thank the people's patience with that, and also thank them for bringing up the trouble reports that we talked about. They're letting us know where the downlines are at. They're letting us know where the vegetation is coming in contact with the line, and we really appreciate that. Those are the feedback that we need to hear from the public. Staff is compiling that. They may not have time to respond to each and every Facebook post that asks when the power is going to come on, but we do log down and track the information, so that when the crews go to the areas that I mentioned, we have all those work orders. We can better pinpoint it. Because as we energize areas, Ray, the smart meters will let us know where the pocket areas are at.
I was about to say, we use the technology to help you out. Yeah, as the lights start coming back on, we know what was there before, and if it's not there now, then we got an idea that there might be an issue. And sure enough, you go, and there might be a tree that's leaning on the power lines, or pulled something off the weatherhead. I got you, and it's one of the reasons why I like the efficient use of that technology. Elwin Chimpaco Quitano says, I haven't seen GPA trucks in or around Salancoda, Primos, Piga 1 and 2 in the back areas of Machinano. Elwin, as Art said early in the broadcast, that's a priority area for them. They are going to be moving through into the Dededo and Machinano area before too much longer. Katie Garcia talking about Upper Maina and Windward Hills areas up there being without power.
That's correct, Ray. And we'll log those areas down. I just want to go back to that conversation regarding the smart meters. I mean, and why it's important to get those trouble reports that pinpoint these trouble spots. The meters will tell us that you're out, but they won't tell us what's affecting your area. Mm-hmm. That's why the trouble reports are very important for us to receive.
I got you, Art. We'll be in touch if we get some more questions that I can't answer for the listeners. Then we'll be dialing you back up. All right.
Thank you very much, Ray. I'll opportunity to get on the air.
No, I appreciate your time. Art Paris and the Guam Power Authority and their friends, a little bit of a rundown of what's going on. Brad's an interesting question. What about solar customers? Can they run off solar battery, or do they have to feed the grid? And since the grid is down, they're stuck. I don't know. That might be a question for Jeff Vocola and the guys from Micronesia Renewable Energy. Just how much can they feed back into the grid if there's no grid in the area to feed back to? In a perfect world, my guess is that some of those guys with the solar systems, and I'd love to talk to one of the solar customers of any of the companies now, and just I want to know how great your life is, having the solar stuff on the roof that didn't blow away and that still works, and you're able to keep some lights on in the house and battery chargers charging, and refrigerators refrigerating. Maybe that was that smell that I was smelling last night in the villages. Somebody's barbecuing. You know why I'm smelling barbecue? Because we've got to barbecue everything that's in the freezer because it's going to go bad. And you invite everybody in the cul-de-sac to come over and enjoy some Guam-style a typhoon hospitality barbecue. Closing in on 7 o'clock in the morning, and here's what we've got for you. We'll find out what's happening in the markets in a little bit. And all of that. I did get around to playing the video of our little movie at the radio station. It's the only excitement we've got is the transformer in the back of the building.
Get up! It's Jesus Day.
Yeah, that's what it is. Is tasing is a one transformer tasing the other. But I've got another video that had been sent to the WhatsApp chat. And it's apparently an off-duty cop driving down the street. We can't play the audio on this. An off-duty cop driving down the street, and there is a melee and a bunch of what looks like a bunch of Micronesian teenagers, some armed with machetes. That are getting into it, banging on people's cars and throwing rocks and stuff, and then going after him. And the guy's like, hey, you don't want to do this. I'm an off-duty cop here, and there's going to be trouble. Somebody, one of these days, in these little melees with the rock throwing and the sticks and the machetes, somebody is going to get killed. And so people in that community better start looking out for each other. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. The radio station is KUSG Hagutnya, headquarters for Fox News and headquarters for news from the Guam Daily Post. Mindy Uggan with a big look at all today's top stories and power and roads and all of that. We'll have that for you in just a few minutes. This is The Point.
Don't wait to get out. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Mayors and governors in the Carolinas urging people to heed the warnings about Hurricane Florence. More than 1 million people under evacuation orders.
This storm is a monster. It's big and it's vicious.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper earlier today. Fox's Evan Brown is live in Wrightsville Beach.
Yeah, Lisa, tomorrow night the storm will be felt here, and that's why people living on these barrier islands of North Carolina are being made to evacuate.
We rent here, but we want to make sure that we have a place to come back to, so we're doing everything we can.
Sterling Jernigan and his roommates are boarding up windows and will go across the bridge to Wilmington, but even that city is expected to be pelted with wind and rain and could take on storm surge flooding, Lisa.
Thanks, Eben. President Trump holding an Oval Office briefing with the heads of FEMA and Homeland Security, saying the federal government is ready for Florence.
It's tremendously big and tremendously wet. Tremendous amounts of water. So I've spoken with the governors of South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, They're prepared. We're prepared. We're working very well in conjunction.
He's already issued disaster declarations for the Carolinas and Virginia. FEMA Chief Brock Long says more widespread effects are expected from all of the rain, up to 30 inches in some areas.
And these impacts they're going to be through the Mid-Atlantic, so we're coordinating not only with South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, but other Mid-Atlantic states all the way to Delaware.
Also noting that some of the same areas are already saturated from the recent remnants of Tropical Storm Gordon. A hurricane warning and storm surge warning just issued from the South Santee River in South Carolina to Duck, North Carolina. Florence also regaining some strength. Top sustained winds now back up to 140 miles per hour. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Marking 17 years since the 9/11 attacks.
William A. Carnes. Douglas Jean Carpilla.
Nearly 3,000 names read, honoring the dead and comforting the living at annual ceremonies in New York, at the Pentagon, and in Pennsylvania, where the fourth hijacked plane went down as passengers fought the terrorists.
We grieve together for every mother and father, sister and brother, son and daughter who was stolen from us at the Twin Towers, the Pentagon, and here in this Pennsylvania field.
President Trump at the ceremony near Shanksville this morning, vowing to do whatever it takes to keep America safe. The White House just out with a warning to Iran about recent attacks in Iraq on U.S. sites, including a consulate and the embassy compound in Baghdad, blamed on groups that get weapons and money from Iran. The White House vowing a swift response when necessary in defense of American lives. Facebook doing its own version of storm prep.
Ahead of Hurricane Florence making landfall, Facebook is rolling out its community help tool to Facebook Lite, a mobile app helping folks with limited internet access log on to the social network. Community Help evolved out of Safety Check, which allows users to mark themselves as safe after a disaster. Facebook Lite bringing the service to users in over 100 countries, giving more folks in need the ability to find essentials like shelter, food, and transportation.
Fox's Kristen Goodwin. There are a total of 5 tropical systems forecasters are now tracking in the Atlantic, including one that could become a tropical depression Thursday or Friday in the southeastern Gulf of Mexico. So Texas and Louisiana coastal residents are being urged to keep a close watch on that. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local inspired breakfast. AM loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites: AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago,
New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
Half a day and good morning, everyone. News time here at The Point is 7:07 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Mindy Egan. Here's a look at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Government of Guam operations resume today. There is no school, though, for Guam Department of Education students as post-typhoon assessments continue. A number of schools are working to address significant debris on campus, water leaks, flooding, and power outages. GDOE classes are expected to resume tomorrow, giving time for cleanup. As well, iLearn and Guahan Academy will resume tomorrow as well. All Dodea classes are also canceled today due to continued power outages and subsequent issues with air conditioning in certain buildings. Dodea staff are asked to report in no later than 12 noon today. The Office of the Superintendent of Catholic Education announced that Father Duenas Academy, Santa Barbara, Mercy Heights, Infant of Prague, Mount Carmel, Bishop Baumgartner, Maria Artero Catholic Preschool and Kindergarten, and Dominican Injigo will have classes today. Other Catholic schools are still experiencing no power or low to no water pressure and are expected to resume on Thursday. Now, because Public Works bus transportation is not available, parents and guardians will need to transport their children to school. Parents are asked to contact teachers or school administrators if they suffered hardships due to the storm. All Judiciary of Guam employees have been directed to report back to work for regular business today. The clerk of court will reschedule all hearings, jury trials, and jury selection proceedings. Jurors are advised to contact the jury recording system after 5 p.m. today for their next jury instructions. The District Court of Guam is also scheduled to open in the next hour. Upon the reopening of the court, all current jurors will be provided with specific instructions by court staff as to when to appear next at court. The ongoing jury trial will resume tomorrow. That's Thursday. Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo has written a letter to President Donald Trump to request approval of a federal emergency declaration for Guam following Typhoon Mangkhut. Bordallo said it would allow federal resources to be made available to assist GovGuam and local families and businesses with recovery efforts. Bordallo requested that the president direct the Federal Emergency Management Agency to authorize hazard mitigation, public assistance, and individual assistance for Guam. A major restaurant franchise is hiring. Details after the break.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
Guam Regional Medical City. We bring the healthcare advances of the world directly to you. We are an acute care hospital that complements your needs with our robust outpatient specialty clinics. From preventative care to critical care, we strive for consistent excellence at GRMC. Our core philosophy is where patients are partners, which means we work as a team to make a healthier version of you. For more information about GRMC, visit us at grmc.gu.
11 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point on this Wednesday morning. The Guam Solid Waste Authority will resume trash collection this week after 2 days of delays. Those residents who normally have their trash pickup on Monday should have their trash collected today. Tuesday's routes will be collected tomorrow. Wednesday's routes will be collected Friday. Thursday's routes will be collected on Saturday. Waste collection operations will resume back to the normal schedule beginning next week, Monday. And finally, restaurant group Apple Pacific is now accepting applications for positions at Olive Garden, slated to open in the Tumon Sands Plaza in October. Apple Pacific's Director of Marketing, Jason Respicio, said applications can be picked up and turned in at Applebee's in Tumuning. He said all positions are available, barring some management positions. The restaurant previously stated it was looking to hire between 75 and 100 people. The new restaurant will encompass approximately 4,000 square feet and be able to seat 160 guests. Applicants can pick up and submit applications between 1 and 5 p.m. They will be accepted throughout the month. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Which restaurant is that? Which one is that?
Olive Garden.
Are they open tonight?
No.
No electricity. Let's go to Olive Garden.
Not
Mom.
yet.
No.
Not yet.
Pretty soon.
October.
Got to actually hire people.
Yes.
October?
Yes. It's fast.
That's 3 weeks from now.
Yes. That's pretty fast. That's what they're slated to do. So.
And then what's coming up next?
I believe Red Lobster's after that.
You just had it right there at the top of your head.
And then it's Jollibee.
She's plugged in.
And then Jollibee,
Yeah,
yes. I think Jollibee will be January of next
We
year.
are going to be awash in fine dining.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Partly sunny skies today and isolated showers. Thunderstorms might actually be happening today. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Daytime highs about 86 degrees and overnight lows should be 78 degrees or so. Sunset tonight at 6:24. We'll watch the sunrise together. Tomorrow morning at 6:09. There is a high surf advisory in effect through Friday for west-facing reefs, so avoid venturing out into any of that kind of mess. It's 7:13, and that's news and weather together here on The Point.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tumuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
I'm sorry. Somebody sent me this. This is just the dumbest thing. Ring, ring, ring. Hello. Hi, Mr. President. This is Eddie Bazacalvo from Guam calling about the typhoon. Yeah, can you send some money? And then the president says, I'm sorry, who's this? It's Eddie Bazacalvo. I'm the one that snuck on Air Force One. You remember? You got any FEMA dough? That's, yeah, put it in a letter, son. Put it in a letter. All right, time to tell you about King's. It's, what is it, Pork Sinigang today. It's the middle of the week, and that's their big middle of the week lunch special. Pork Sinigang tomorrow. Meatloaf. Just FYI, tomorrow, meatloaf for lunch at King's.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
It's 7:14. This portion of the program brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes, we're open.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
The Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy, American Water Tech, smarter water, better water, Guam Regional Medical City, first choice for all your open heart surgery needs, and American President Lines. They're shipping the future.
Forklift sales, rental, and specialized forklift repair are available from Morico Equipment on Ipow Road. A 2.5-ton forklift with a 3-stage container mast and fork side shift is essential for business on Guam. Larger 3-ton, 5-ton, and 10-ton capacity capacity forklifts and telehandlers are now available for rent or purchase at Morico Equipment. Morico is Guam's forklift specialist. New, used, spare parts, and service. Phone 649-1946 or go to moricoequipment.com.
I got you. It's 7:15 in the morning. Eventually, it's going to be time to start thinking about lunch. Got to eat on the run. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be bad when you do it that way. Swing by the nearest Subway and enjoy the great flavors that they've got for you all the time. And the incredible wraps, the signature wraps that they've got for you. And right now, hot pastrami sandwich. They've got the great cuts of lean pastrami that go into these things. Put them on your favorite bread. Stick the cheese on. Yes, ma'am, I'd like it toasted. And we'll condiment it this way. I want jalapenos. I want banana peppers. Light lettuce. I like it because I use the phrase light lettuce because otherwise, you know, they'll just pound it. A little light lettuce, just a little bit more for crunch and flavor, and a little bit of mayonnaise and a little bit of mustard. And that's I think I've just ordered something at Subway. Have it your way, eat it, and you'll enjoy it.
The Ray Gibson Show, your new News Talk headquarters.
And, you know, I had my buddy come in and talk to me about they've got an app. They've got that Subway app. I have yet to try it out. Maybe today is going to be the day. You build it on your phone, and then you can just go and pick it up and then pay for it kind of online.
Yeah, the way you were drooling while talking about that a moment ago, it probably would be a good call today.
Yeah, 7:17, and I need to. With this, still got the First Hawaiian Bank thing lingering in my head, and I need to get something out because I went to a place last night. And so we made our orders for what it is that we wanted, what kind of chicken wings we wanted, what kind of refreshments we were going to have with it. And my friend says, "You saw the sign outside." I said, "What sign outside?" I saw a sign that said open. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And he says, "No, did you see the sign that said cash only?" No, I missed the sign that said cash only.
Those of us that shop at Kmart, frequently are familiar with that.
With the cash only?
Cash only, yeah.
Because apparently there are places that are having problems with their POS equipment. So check before you order. I lucked out because I bum off my friends all the time anyway. So I was in good shape. But had I not been, it would have been kind of embarrassing because anybody that knows me knows I never ever have cash.
Yeah, I don't either. But on Saturday, I went and got some.
Did you? Yeah, smart move because there are going to be some places. So check before you make your order. Is your POS system working? Can you accept credit cards? Otherwise, I'm going to have to dash across Marine Corps Drive and find an ATM somewhere. 7:18 in the morning, and let's talk about what happened on the market. Dow rises more than 100 points as Apple leads tech shares higher. And I've told you this before. I look at Apple when I read stories about Apple and how great they're doing. It's like hearing about an ex-girlfriend, right? Just good things about your ex-girlfriend. You go, I don't want to know about that. I don't care about that. You know why? Because I'm the guy that sold Apple at about $100. I thought that was as high as it would ever get. I sold Apple at $100, and I've never been able to afford to buy the shares back. Just makes me nuts. Apple gained 2.5%, snapping a 4-day losing streak after analysts at UBS raised their price target to $250 from $215, citing the potential growth of the company's services business. They got a big event at its headquarters on Wednesday where they're expected to announce several new products. Netflix and Amazon also up 2.2% and 2.5% respectively, while Twitter jumped 1.2%. Hold on a second. I want to see if I can get a little bit more on what it is that Apple intends to be pushing out. I know that they've got some deals are supposed to be happening on the iPhone X's or 10s, whichever you want to call it. And maybe some upgrades to some of the existing platforms, and maybe some changes to the way they're managing to hold the corner on virtually everything that is the entertainment industry. All right, so on the numbers, the S&P 500 in the green by 10 points, 2887. The Nasdaq at 7972 or so. They picked up almost 50 points, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average surged ahead 113 points, still under 26,000 for some reason, 25,971. Spitting distance, another good day, and they should be all over that. The FTSE is down by about 6 points. Nikkei up and will open up today at 22,664. The Hang Seng at 26,422, off by 190 points. Shanghai in a hard time at 2664, and the DAX is down by 16 points. And I don't really care about the DAX. I just like saying the DAX. What a great sounding index that is, the DAX. Oil trading at 69.91. That's West Texas crude, again 69.91. Haven't looked at Tapas for a couple of days, and I'm not missing anything. 79.52. It was trading in the mid-70s for several days, and then it took a peak a couple of days ago, and it looks like it stayed there. 79.52. I'm wondering if that's the new normal for Tapas oil. I hope it's not, because if that is the new normal, I got a feeling that we're going to be we'll see some increases at the pump in a few days. I know, Ray. Stop saying that. Stop being Mr. Gloom and Doom when it comes to gasoline. I just want you to be prepared when it happens. I am on E right now. I'm on E right now, and when the show is done, I'm going to go and put some more of that Tapas crude oil and gasoline into the car, and hopefully I can do it at today's rates, not tomorrow's. 7:21, and that's what happened on the market. Time right now to check in with Jerry Roberts for, wow, this is weird, he's not here, a pre-recorded Extra Point.
How good are you at telling people no? And why would that be important? I'm Jerry Roberts, and let's see how and where no fits in with our strategy for maximizing our time and productivity. Today, on the Extra Point. During one session of our course, Time Hero, after going through the no conversation, we took a break, and I had a young woman approach me. Look, it all sounds good, but I hate to say no. People at work sort of look to me for everything. I also have my family and friends calling me for one thing or another. It's always been this way. I said to her, well, then there's no problem. You're okay with all the extra requests on your time and don't plan to change. Her eyes got big and she sort of squealed, no, I have a full schedule and then I have all this other stuff. By the time I get home, I'm totally exhausted. I do need this to change. I've lived in Guam almost my entire adult life, and I get it. Relationships here seem closer, and there's a whole lot more of them. Friends call or text and want to connect. Coworkers don't know what to do, and they come to you, and they keep coming to you. The boss can be demanding. Things pile up. And then when you add all the various family demands, it can be overwhelming. It's easy to make more commitments than you can possibly keep, leading to obligations that aren't handled, and a bunch of things pushed over into the next day and the next. We end up getting burned out. So why is it so hard to tell people no? On a basic level, saying no just doesn't feel good. We don't like to hear it. No can be painful. It's rejection. Okay, so what can we do? Well, first, just face it. Sometimes you'll have to simply say no. To the old friend who wants to come by the job and pick your brain for ideas, to your favorite auntie who expects you to drop everything you're doing to help her, to coworkers who rely on you just a little too much. You know that there are requests that won't work with your existing commitments. Suck it up. Let these people know you'd love to help, but you can't. Maybe next time. Option 2 is to offer the help, but on your schedule, not theirs. I'd love to do it for you, but I'm totally boxed in until Thursday. You didn't tell them no. You gave them a conditional yes, if they're willing to wait until your schedule permits. The other person should be grateful for your willingness to help, even if you can't help right away. It's possible they'll agree and wait for you, or maybe they'll call somebody else who's better able to help them quickly. Maximizing time is a worthwhile pursuit, and to do it effectively, you'll need to get in control of your schedule. That requires you to make good decisions on the best use of your time. Say yes when you can, and no when you have to. Say yes to the fine art of saying no. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today.
No.
For 93.3 in The Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
7:24 in the morning. That's the way it is. Yeah, no. That's sometimes the hardest thing in the world when somebody kind of comes and asks you to do something or asks if they can do something. You have to learn one consonant, one vowel, and it comes out of the mouth fairly easy. You just got to practice and say no.
And sometimes it can be a gateway to happiness. Is learning how to say no.
Absolutely. It's 7:24 in the morning. Say yes to the radio station, and want to say yes to people asking about electricity, and we'll take a look at Facebook Live and see if I can help out some folks. I want to share this because it's important. Is a guy came just after I was done talking with Art. I know that they've got the radio station on down there. He says our power came on last night, but went out again this morning. Can you ask Art about Route 3, Munoz, Castro, Menabusan areas? And so I put that on the radio, and the answer is yes, I can do that. I can tell everybody about it, and keep reminding me and keep putting it on the Facebook Live. There's somebody from GPA. You might not be able to see him, but there are people there that are watching that specifically to find out where some of the areas that are without at this time. Maka typing in Jigo, Paradise Meadows has power. Mighty has power since 5 a.m., but heard parts of Totu have got Todd's up power right now. Unfortunately, that's going to be the case. Zotnia, Baza Gardens, Windward Hills, and surrounding areas, no power. But we did hear Art Perez earlier say that they are including that kind of in priority areas as they're moving through here. All of NCS from GRMC past Nictams, all out of power. Machinana, both Ironwoods and related areas. Anthony Lego, customer Lego, they are moving in your direction today. And Dave Duenas with a reminder, kudos to GPA crews. Remaining pockets of no power, rest assured they are coming as fast as they can. And I'm sure that you've seen this meme. Well, maybe you haven't. I mean, if you don't have any power, it's hard to get to the Facebook and WhatsApps and all of that stuff to see what the funny memes are. This one here, not quite so funny as much it is kind of direct. Wait, what? You've got no power? See this guy in the rain, up a pole, in hooks, away from his family? Simmer down, play a board game, say hi to your kids, you will survive. Linemen are working on it. They are aware of where the power is not turning, and they will get those meters turning just as quick as possible.
But makes you wonder, what would people do if there were a real disaster? Let's say there was some sort of solar flare that knocked satellites out. No more internet, no more phones. That's it, it's done. Or, and power as well. What if something like that on the scale, I mean, something that could not be repaired?
Yeah.
Have we softened ourselves to such a point in our lifestyles that we could not survive that?
Days like today, days like the last days that we've had, that thought actually rolls around in my head is I think, take yourself, it's not that long ago, go back 80 years when the Japanese came. And all of a sudden, your world is upside down. And all of the things that you have grown used to simply vanished. They're not there anymore. They have been eliminated and adopted by something new, a new regime that you've got to get through. And the answer is, I don't know. I worry that maybe, I might be able to do it. I know which trees in the boondocks I can eat from. I like to think that I have enough skills as an island boy to be able to jump in the water and maybe catch myself dinner.
Yeah.
But there's 165,000 other people that live here that don't have those skills, and even if they did, how much time do you suppose it would be before we were fished out in the lagoons? How much time do you suppose it would be before virtually everything that was edible was stripped off the trees? Can we agriculturally support the population that we have here on Guam? Never mind Facebook and whatever the name of that game was that we were talking about. Forget about all of that.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick on the kids, but I will pick on the parents, because imagine the number of 25 and under that have absolutely zero survival skills. The only thing they know how to do is pick up a phone and text someone.
Yeah. So it's time to take them to the ranch for a couple of weeks and teach them how to lasso the carabao and how to open a coconut. It's 7:28 in the morning, and that's all important stuff. We've got headlines on the way, a little bit of traffic. Let me take a look at the traffic gizmo. Might be something to report after these.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas starts in September. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
I see it. I'm looking at it right now. Northbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive, making your way to Anderson Air Force Base. Going to watch traffic move slowly through there. Marine Corps Drive, as we get closer to the Dedido area, out in front of the Payless things. Looks like it's northbound traffic right up to that Payless intersection. Looks like it might be a little bit building. I've got traffic southbound coming out of the Oh, where's that? Coming out of Santos Hill for sure. Yeah, southbound there. Looks like that'll clear up when you get to the St. John's intersection. Up and down Marine Corps Drive. As I said, I think a lot of people going to Wendy's or Jack in the Box for breakfast. And then northbound traffic from there up to the intersection of Route 1 and Route 3 getting a little bit busy as well. Where are we going now? Agana. It looks like a little bit of a slowdown getting into Agana along Cantantasi, right about where the Agana Shopping Center is. And my guess is that that's people trying to get to the Wendy's and the McDonald's down there. And hey, is Shirley's open? Yeah, let's go and see what's for breakfast there, because I ain't got no electricity at my house to cook because I live in Zotnia, and they didn't get to Zotnia yet. I need longer music beds when I stir myself up in the traffic here. Looking at the Paseo Loop, a little bit of traffic building through there. Don't see anything at Navy Hospital just yet, and traffic moving into Big Navy. Looks like it's all clear. The time, 7:30. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better Together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
I think maybe after the not after the show, but in a little bit. I think I'm going to play that video that we got our hands on with the kids that were in that. We won't play the audio. Minnie's got this look like, we're not going to play the audio, are we? Because the audio is this long strings.
You're going to have to bleep it out.
If you bleep it, it'll just be one long bleep. It's a police officer, an off-duty police officer, and I will pronounce this as viral because I've gotten it now from 3 or 4 different sources, and my guess is that they probably got it from 3 or 4 different sources as well. But a video of these kids that were involved in some kind of melee that were happened upon by an off-duty police officer who was purely observing up until he became involved in it, because the kids started coming over in his direction. One of them wielding a machete, and this is happening in what looked like plain old village streets around town.
I think it's Kaiser.
You think it's Kaiser? Just plain old village streets? Somebody is going to get hurt around here. We got to figure out a way to police all of this better, but we'll get to that in a second. It's 7:33 or so, and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Mindy Uggan.
32 minutes after 7 a.m., here are some of the headlines from the Guam Daily Post. 50% of generation load has been restored, and Guam Power Authority crews continue to energize feeders. GPA spokesperson Art Perez said line crews are focusing this morning on the following areas in Barrigada, Ledzang, Radio Barrigada, Lower Barrigada Heights, and the Revan Tax area in Chalanpago and the village. In Dedido, pocket areas within the village, Kaiser, South Liguan, Isangsang, Machinao, Woostig Road, and Route 3. GPA crews will also be in Ta'i, Manilao this morning, Tamuning on Harmon Loop Road, St. John's area, Harmon Industrial, Jigo near Simon Sanchez, Chalan Lachance, and Matagua. In Jontya, Ilig River at Palantat, as well as the village. Perez said the list of areas being restored is fluid as crews make their rounds. He said GPA is aware of the areas that remain without power. He could not give an estimate for complete restoration, but thanked residents for their continued patience. Guam Animals in Need and Humane Society International are holding a free clinic today for animals who were injured during the typhoon. The free clinic will be held this morning, only from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. Game President Cyrus Lure said 3 visiting veterinarians from Humane Society International will be staffing the clinic at the animal shelter in Jigo. Again, that's today from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. The clinic is free, but Game welcomes donations of money or supplies such as dog or cat food, towels, and cleaning supplies. For these stories and much more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
7:34 is iConnect time, and they are the practical choice. Why? Because they've got great rates on all kinds of things that you need for your communications. We're talking about mobile plans and internet plans and even push to talk. So call them 888-8888 and find out why iConnect is your practical choice.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Papa Joyce, Kraus, and Andy Tidinko watching on the Facebook Live, and Mandy Pahea is reporting no power in Marianas Terrace, Jigo, and Salampago. The guys are aware, and they're moving forward into that area today. But I'll keep reading these on the air because, number one, I know they're listening, and number two, I know it makes you feel better to know that, thank God, at least somebody is acknowledging that I don't have electricity. Thank you, Ray. I love you. That's great. If you want to show me how much you love me, press the share button on whatever the Facebook Live gizmo is that you're watching on, and share the fun, the love, the frivolity, and the fraternity that is the Ray Gibson Show here on The Point. Now it's time for a Wendy's break. Wendy's 4 for $4, giving customers like you great value every day. For $4, you can get 8 options to choose from. Your all-time favorites like the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, Crispy Chicken BLT, or the Double Stack Sandwich, all coming complete. Yeah, I pronounce it sandwich, with nuggets, fries, and a drink. Wendy's 4 for $4. What a deal for a Wendy's meal.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
I don't want to traffic. I already traffic. Let me see if there's any changes on the traffic gizmo. Let me see now. Southbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive got a little bit heavy after Santos Hill and on your way down. As I said, it looks like it clears when you get to the St. John's area. This is odd that we're seeing that kind of traffic considering that there is no school today. Manilao, Route 15. Oh, I know what's happening there. The intersection of Route 10 and Route 15, that light was out this morning. And so my guess is there's a whole long line of people trying to get onto Route 15 and waiting for through traffic on 10 to slow down. And that ain't going to happen. Get behind a big truck and turn when they turn. So probably seeing the same thing at the intersection of 4 and 10, 8, 10, and 16. I don't know if there's a traffic director there. I don't know if they've got a guy there.
If the signals aren't working, they will be there, and that'll slow things down almost as much as bad traffic.
In some cases, yeah. And in fact, I know somebody that they'd asked her if she's with the Guard, and they'd asked her if she wanted to do the traffic signal thing, and she's tough. This tough girl, and she said, yeah, no, I don't want to, because it's not that she was afraid of being in the traffic. She was just afraid that she'd cause an accident. I mean, that's got to be a high anxiety position for the first couple of times, right? When you get out in traffic and you realize if you do it wrong, you let this guy go and he's not done going, and you let this guy go and they meet with the fender bender.
Yeah,
that's your fault.
Yeah, there's actually a school you're supposed to go to learn how to do that.
Somebody going to get killed when it happens. But most of the intersections I'd seen, the cops were there. Yeah, looking at that line of traffic here, it was starting just at Santos Hill, but it looks like it's getting thicker. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, just before you get out of the Micronesia, just after the Micronesia Mall, if you're headed southbound, you'll see the line of traffic begin to slow down and keep slowing down until you get to about St. John's. A little bit of traffic coming out of, let me see, the JFK Mart Hill up to Marine Corps Drive, but nothing to slow you down too much. And then Route 8 heading into Hagåtña. You might see things slow down as you get a little bit close to Poke Fries. There we go. 7:38. Almost said Picas. We need a Picas there, by the way. 7:38 in the morning, and that's right now traffic here on The Point.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
enough, Dana. Nice to see you there. And a note from Carla Torres Haddock, who says, yes, National Guard directing traffic at the Tri intersection. It is moving smoothly. And looking at the traffic gizmo, yeah, it does look like things are going to be moving fairly smooth through there. Don't see anything happening. I do see a little bit of traffic up around where some cars are lined up. I think it's probably just a long traffic light over by the Department of Revenue and Taxation. Marcy Winston on Dana reporting that Manila Dairy Road, still no power yet. Dana, we'll see if we can get the guys over at the power company at least aware of what's happening out there, and that's why, as I said, I will read these as they get them on the Facebook Live, if for no other reason, so that you can say, I told somebody and they responded, because I know how it is. I was getting calls from people yesterday, said they were trying to get a hold of somebody over at GPA, and they tried every single number in the book and weren't getting any answers. Nobody's going to answer in the office because there was no GovGuam yesterday. Maybe today somebody will answer if you need it, but the answer, likely, even from the guys over at Dispatch, are going to be, look, I get it. So only so many guys out there, and so we'll get these pockets turned on just as quickly as we possibly can. 888-8255. And as I said, there's GovGuam today. Things beginning to come back to life. Was kind of nice rolling around yesterday and passing all kinds of restaurants, just filled with people, because 50% of the island still doesn't have any electricity, and that means there's a whole bunch of people that could not cook. And I know folks that were out last night, they got gas stoves. They even have gas stoves. I said, well, why are you out? You have a gas stove in your casa. And they said, because it's hot in the house. I can cook, but I don't want to eat in the house because it's bloody hot. So we get in the car and go drive like we didn't have electricity. But we're beginning to awaken now, and certain things are going to go back to normal. For instance, if you need to go find your probation guy, he'll be at court today. If you need to go and learn about the cases and what needs to get rescheduled, the clerk is working today over at the court. I know because Shawnee said so. Good morning, Sean.
Hey, good morning, Ray. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. Everything that I need to. Gee, I don't know what all this complaining's about. I got power.
No power and telephone for us. But, it's all good.
Oh, it's are the kids holding out okay?
Ask my wife and the kids, but they might disagree. But they're listening right now. Right now, the only reception we're getting is your radio station.
Oh, that's well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that you're able to stay up on what we're up to here at the radio station. And so Telefofo over at Sean's house, no power. Art Paris, I need you to dispatch a crew there immediately.
Hey, I tried that for 8 years. That never really worked.
No. Even when you worked for the governor's office, right?
Nope, not a thing. It's okay. Everybody else first.
Well, it will eventually happen, and the kids will go back to their real life, whatever their names are, right?
Yeah, back to school. That's what we're waiting for. Back to school.
Doesn't look like that's going to be happening today. Everybody at the Department of Education is still in the shutdown mode. I got a list from Tony Diaz on what's open and closed in the Catholic school systems, and my understanding is the Harvest is still closed today. So most of the kids are enjoying what is this, day number 4 of day 5 of the weekend.
That's right.
Yeah. But not court employees. You guys going back to work?
Yeah, and in fact, as you mentioned right before we came on, when I drove up to the courthouse, the line in front of probation was as we see every morning. So it is business as usual in terms of court services getting back online. So you're right. The clerk of court, Danielle Rossetti, will spend much of her morning just trying to shuffle around the court calendars. I know I did see yesterday some of the judicial officers were coming in yesterday as they were just trying to get prepped for what's going to be a very busy day today, and so we're all here and all ready to work. So I talked to some of our folks. They're just like us. And some who don't have power, they have water, they're okay. But obviously, first responders and the like, we got to give our kudos to them because they are also victims too in this storm, and they're out helping us, and they're helping make sure that the power's on, the water's on. So when you see them, give them a honk or give them a wave or say thank you at the minimum, and we would do the same to all of our people.
Yeah, absolutely. When I pass by an intersection and a police officer or guardsman out there at the intersection handling traffic, I always roll the window down and say thank you. Or try to give them a wave. One way to get, I try not to take their attention off their job. That's important. Otherwise, we will get those chrome French kisses on the road. But it's nice to see what they're up to. Do the marshals ever go out there and direct traffic in front of the courthouse?
Actually, no. That right now, I think we have GPD out in front and the Guam National Guard. So thank you to them.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously, the marshals are all hands on deck here for the security of the court. As we are getting back to normal, folks are just going to be coming in, paying their traffic citations, taking care of their regular business, and obviously looking to see if their attorneys didn't get to them where their court case might sit. So,
right. Now, as far as jury duty is concerned, because that's my recent brush with the judicial system was being on standby, calling in every day. But will there be people reporting in today, or will there be jurors reporting in today?
Oh, not today.
Okay.
So we're asking all of our jurors for petit and grand jury to call in to the hotline number, call after 5 for their next jury assignment. But so today there is no jury today.
All right, and so people that are on the list right now breathing a sigh of relief because maybe their phones lost their charge after 5 last night and weren't able to call in. So no, don't worry about reporting in today. Call after 5 today.
Call after 5 today.
And the lady who speaks in the special English will tell you about jury tomorrow.
It's got to be clear, Ray.
I know, I understand. I completely get it. I just wish you just sit there and wait for your number, and you go, okay. It's like waiting for somebody to find that picture on their WhatsApp. It's in there somewhere. Just get to my number. One of these days, we'll be able to stick that on a website or put it in an email, right?
Trust me, we're all considering different options, including Twitter.
I'm sure of it. It's nice. 7:46. Hey, Shawnee, I'll talk to you real soon. I'm sure you got some busy work that you got to take care of over at the courthouse, and we'll.
Thanks.
Anytime. Call in when you need us. 888-8255 is the telephone number. There's Sean Gumatauta from the courthouse. 746. There, as I said, the world is beginning to come back to life. Not so much in the Department of Education. One of the guys that is very, very busy watching the transition between we have been shelters to we need to go back to teaching kids is John Fernandez. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, Ray.
How'd you and the family make out during the storm? Everybody okay?
I think there was obviously a lot of wind and rain, pretty scary for the young ones who haven't been through storms this bad. But I think we all, my family, my extended family, all made it through with minimal damage, so that was good.
Are the kids disappointed that they can't go to school yet?
I got many of them who are just enjoying another day of not having to turn in that, study for that test or turn in that homework.
Right.
But I do hear from some who would rather, especially those who don't have power, who really would rather go to school.
Right. Yeah. I imagine there might be one or two of those, but it doesn't sound like they're blowing up your Twitter here with, "Come on, Superintendent, when are we going back to school?"
Right. They're all just trying to determine when they need to really finalize that studying or that project that's
Yeah.
So,
it might be tomorrow, guys. So knuckle in and find a way to get the homework done. And might it be tomorrow for the schools? What are you hearing from the folks that are still using your facilities as shelters?
So yesterday we were able to close down by all shelters by about 5 p.m. So we held the shelteries through the storm, and then at noon when Core 4 was declared, we began to work on the transition towards the Tier 2 shelter, which right now is only is up there at the Stumbo Gym where I'm headed in a few moments.
Yeah.
Once we were able to close down, meaning staff, kind of deal with the cleaning, repositioning the school to be able to reopen. We were also conducting assessments across the school system to see where we stood and whether we could open today. In fact, we were actually pushing very hard because we know that opening the schools provides another support for the community.
Yeah, well, as you point out, in some cases, air conditioning and meals for some of these families, many of which were probably spending some time in your facilities because they had substandard housing.
Well, we believe that when we get schools open, not only was it air conditioning, not only do we have the full staff there, including a nurse, and are able to feed these children who are there with us. Those are the kinds of things that we feel we can do while the rest of the community is trying to recover in other ways. So we unfortunately, because as we start to survey the schools, in a short amount of time, we recognized that there were some power issues in certain areas, water issues. Whether it was water pressure or leaks or flooding that had to be addressed, debris on campus. We just felt that if we rushed it too fast, number one, we would stretch the other partner agencies out very thin, because they're going to try to prioritize the schools, but also we weren't sure that we could guarantee the safety of our kids, in all of our classrooms. So we said, look, let our agencies deal with the island infrastructure for an additional 24 hours. Let's get our staff on campus, clear out everything we need to clear out, and hopefully by noon today we can get a better assessment of who's ready to go tomorrow.
Okay.
I think the biggest obstacle for us at this point would be any water and power issues that we wouldn't be able to address.
But you're not hearing about any of those at this time, right?
Well, we do have a couple areas. So we're running. Luckily that our chat, our emergency chat is online, and we're in touch with our utility agency. So we're seeing the numbers of schools that are power, and then we have a couple. I think Talafofo said they didn't have any power. JP Torres reported they didn't have any power. So we'll be monitoring that over the morning and just continuing our conversation with GPA, GWA as needed. So we know they're out there working through the villages one by one, but what we need to be able to say, by later this evening is that all schools are ready to go. So we're going to, I got Tommy Taichino back in the office just doing the damage assessments and working on that. I'm going to go out. We have our principals and staff out there doing the on-the-ground assessments. I wanted to go to the schools today, but I'm going to start out by going to a Stumbo gym and just kind of checking in with the mayor, seeing if there's any support or anything that we can help with, knowing that we have a lot of students there who are also shelterees.
Right. Do you have an idea of how many people are in that second-tier shelter at Stumbo?
My understanding is we have 52 families for a total of 312 people.
Still.
Right. So if you divide that up, you're talking about families of 6 or more. So, right now, most of them I know came out of Stumbo Elementary and Machinano and Maria Joa, those shelters. A lot of our northern families were suffered the most. So right now, that's the latest update I have. And we'll go and just, I know Mayor Savares and the Mayor's Council are going to work to maintain that shelter and operate that shelter, and we're going to just go up and see if we can support them in any way as we try to get our schools in full operation.
What is your understanding on what's going to happen? Obviously, we've got to make up 3 days and the possibility of things go south for you for a 4th day. When are we going to be able to make that up in the calendar? Have we just eliminated the Thanksgiving break here?
Yeah, so as one deputy goes and focuses on our central office the assessment overall, and another deputy deals with the school needs, making sure that we're supporting the schools. Then we have one more who does the schedule. So I got Deputy Joe Sanchez saying, why don't you take a look at our policies and our calendar and see, what that impact will be. So that, I know that's the next question we have. Once we're in full operation, the next question is, when are we going to make up? So,
how are we going to do this makeup? Is it going to get eaten out of Thanksgiving? Is it going to get eaten out of Christmas? Are we going to add days to the end of the school year? What is it that we're going to be able to do to make up for this? And then the other question is, maybe you've got to look at it in terms of when will we have money to pay for it? Despite the fact that we are in an emergent situation and coming off of a storm that levied a lot of damages and was caused for days off from school, we're still also, I think, in the midst of a little bit of a fiscal issue in terms of revenue in the government of Guam and the ability for the Department of Education to spend up to the end of the fiscal year and then on the other side of the new fiscal year.
Well, consider this. We opened 15 shelters. Just from an operational standpoint.
Yeah.
Opened 15 shelters, ran them pretty much over 48 hours in 5 shifts, which it doesn't add up to 48 hours if these are, these are not just 8-hour shifts. One of the shifts, I think, went up to 16 hours in the middle of the storm.
Yikes.
These are staff, administrators, school aides, administrators, office staff who are all, at the school sites away from their families during these conditions. And then, of course, there's the physical impact of the storm on the facilities themselves. So operationally, from a facility standpoint, there are a lot of impacts from the storm. And I just want to say thank you to all of the DOE employees who were out at the shelters. That's a tough job, and I don't think I looked at the editorials today. Everyone was thanking first responders, but I don't think people realized that we had about between 200 and 300 employees out in the middle of the storm trying to take care of 2,143 individuals, most of them children. And I just want to say thank you to all of them for their hard work and being away from their families and making it through the night and basically solving a lot of the problems that came up. as we went along. So I think
on their own, perhaps without any kind of other supervision other than just a little bit of common sense. You make a very, very good point. We pass that along with our thanks and appreciation. Things could have been worse for a lot of these families had they stayed in their substandard housing and not sought shelter at the schools. Although it does bring up a question that we'll have to deal with again at some point. When do we stop using the schools as shelters? Are there other alternatives to using the schools as shelters and having to cause these hardships on the employees and the families in the Department of Education system? But for now, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, right now I would say that we have trained employees, we have the facilities, we have concrete facilities. I wouldn't want to say push them to push all these families in need somewhere else, and we're the ones who can take care of them. But as we go through the schools today, and as we look at the conditions of the shelters, what I would ask is that we have the necessary investment in our facilities to make sure that they continue to be shelter worthy, if that's going to be the use. So we've been dealing with water tanks, looking at the generator issues. We opened Ukudu for shelter. We saw some water coming in under the doors, things that we need to address. So generally what I worry about is as we depend on our schools, these 15 shelters, to take care of people during those harshest times, I want to make sure that we have the facilities and the investment in our facilities to make sure that we're safe. So hopefully we can continue that discussion, as we go forward.
Has there been a conversation among your deputies with say, school counselors? Do you anticipate that there might be some kids that will come in and have psychological issues related to the storm and the anxiety of recovery and things like that? Do you have steps that they can take to talk to somebody and get some kind of counseling?
Yes, absolutely. I talked to my deputy, Kelly Sokola, yesterday. We talked about counselors being aware of the needs of our kids coming in and being through the storm situation, not just the scary weather, but those who've had their homes impacted, their families impacted. So we're going to reiterate and reinforce that support across the school system when they come back tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow. And we also have a couple of teams kind of on call to support, not just our social workers or counselors, but also our, school nurses, hopefully supporting the shelter families that are still being impacted. So we're well aware that we have some of those resources that we can lend. So we're going to do that mostly through the school, at the school sites, but also trying to pull a couple of folks to help out if needed at the Estumbo Tier 2 shelter.
When we get some other time that's not devoted to recovery of the island, then maybe we can talk about third-party fiduciary agents and maybe if there's any news. Have you gotten the blue check marks on your messages to the DOE in the United States to see if they're ready to take some kind of action on letting us out from under this third-party fiduciary arrangement?
Well, the only thing I'd say is that I called our main contact over at the DOE, and she turned around and said, well, to be honest, it's been a little quiet because this issue is right now at some of the highest levels in the department. So I said, I take that as a good sign, but we're still waiting for the details. So we did send a letter to them asking for specific information back from our visit this summer. But I do have confirmation that it's not yet at the staff level anymore. It's up at some of the decision-making, appointee positions. So I hope that bodes well for our response.
I got my fingers crossed here. Elwin Chimpako Kitano writes, after all is said and done, the government must compensate the school system for the use of its resources and facilities appropriately and promptly. Do you get to send a bill to Homeland Security?
Yeah, we also have been much better at getting the exact forms that we need to fill out to do our reimbursement requests.
Good.
So as part, especially with FEMA involvement, we don't want to get lost in the shuffle. So we wanted to make sure, since over the past storms, that we figured out that process. So we have that process going on, and we hope by noon to be able to give a thorough damage assessment.
Tulling loves a good spreadsheet, especially when there's a number at the bottom we might be able to send to somebody and get some dough. So I wish you good luck on that. John, Liz, I appreciate your time and appreciate everything that you and your team have done for the community over the last 48 hours, 72 hours, and we hope that you're recompensed appropriately. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you very much. John Fernandez of the Department of Education with us on the Point 93.3 FM. It's 8 o'clock in the morning, or pretty close to it. KUSG Agutnia is the radio station. Fox News Live is coming up next. And Mindy, I keep wanting to say Fothergill. Mindy Fothergill Uggan will be on the radio with news from the Guam Daily Post. And Blake and I will pretend to talk about sports. It's all ahead right here on The Point.
Closing in on the Carolinas, I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Hurricane Florence barreling towards the southeast with forecasters issuing hurricane warnings for the Carolinas and a tropical storm watch for parts of North Carolina and Virginia. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, storm surge along the coast, flooding inland. That's what Florence has the potential to bring to the southeast. The coastal North Carolina city of Wilmington is directly in the path. Mayor Bill Saffo tells Fox's Neil Cavuto that residents are listening to the warnings to get out.
They know the size of this storm is pretty large. They know it's coming right at us, and they're heeding the advice of the elected officials.
He says he's also letting those that refuse to go know that they're on their own until the storm passes. Florence is a Category 4 storm expected to hit land late Thursday, Lisa.
Gernal President Trump being briefed on the storm.
Safety of American people is my absolute highest priority. We are sparing no expense. We are totally prepared. We're ready. We're as ready as anybody's ever been.
He's declared states of emergency for the Carolinas and Virginia. FEMA Administrator Brock Long is warning the hurricane will be a devastating event, urging people to evacuate if they've been told to leave their homes. He warns electricity could be out for weeks. This morning, the President and First Lady were in Shanksville, Pennsylvania for a ceremony marking 17 years since the 9/11 attacks.
A piece of America's heart is buried on these grounds, but in its place has grown a new resolve to live our lives with the same grace and courage as the heroes.
Vice President Pence led a ceremony this morning at the Pentagon. Wall Street at the close, the Dow added 113, the NASDAQ plus 48. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
Grilled salmon, petite sirloin. Can't decide.
What are you doing?
Making my top 10 list of favorite dishes at Ruby Tuesday.
You really need to get a hobby.
But I can't decide. There's no way I can narrow down so many classic dishes to just 10.
Then it's a good thing Ruby Tuesday did it for you.
It's the all-time favorites menu at Ruby Tuesday Guam. We took our most popular dishes and put them on one great menu for only $14.99. Hickory pork chop, Parmesan shrimp pasta, prime loco moco. 10 top sellers at one great price. Pick your favorite for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
The U.S. still investigating who was responsible for the mysterious attacks in Cuba that targeted U.S. diplomats.
A senior U.S. official tells Fox News that we still don't know who or what is responsible for apparent attacks on U.S. diplomats in Cuba and China. A just-published NBC News story says that it was not a sonic weapon, but now believed to be electromagnetic microwave weapons that affected the U.S. diplomats, adding that the U.S. has intelligence or intercepts suggesting the Russians are responsible for the attacks. The mysterious attacks led to brain injuries and hearing loss in more than 24 U.S. personnel in Cuba and China. At the White House, John Decker, Fox News.
Nearly 3,000 people died on 9/11, but hundreds more first responders and others are getting sick and dying after working at the World Trade Center site during the recovery.
Benjamin Infante worked at the FDNY Training Academy on September 11th.
And I was sort of trapped in the Bronx because there was no subways or nothing, so everything was shut down. So I got into the city by the evening, and I just came down to see what was going on, support.
And told me he lost more than a dozen friends that day.
Kind of trying to absorb that one, that it's 17 years already.
Now the losses are of a different kind.
And I have friends that I met at the academy who got illness from breathing in after 9/11.
343 New York City firefighters were killed on 9/11, and 182 more have died of 9/11 related illnesses since then. In Lower Manhattan, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Apple expected to unveil its biggest and most aggressive iPhone tomorrow. One of the rumors is an iPhone that's supposed to have a 6.5-inch OLED screen. OLED is a stepped-up technology from traditional LCD technology in offering a display without a backlight, so black is truly black. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
Forklift sales, rental, and specialized forklift repair are available from Morico Equipment on Epow Road. A 2.5-ton forklift with a 3-stage container mast and forkside shift is essential for business on Guam. Larger 3-ton, 5-ton, and 10-ton capacity forklifts and telehandlers are now available for rent or purchase at Morico Equipment. Morico is Guam's forklift specialist. New, used, spare parts, and service. Phone 649-1946 or go to moricoequipment.com.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
And good morning, everyone. News time here at The Point is 8:07 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Mindy Egan. Here's a look at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Department of Education schools remain closed today as surveys of island campuses continue to get facilities repaired to get students back to class. Superintendent John Fernandez says 15 campuses housed over 2,143 residents during Typhoon Mangkhut. The shelters were closed on Tuesday by 5 p.m. Fernandez said approximately 312 people, making up 52 families, are still being housed at the second-tier shelter at the Estumbo Gem, many of whom are students. DOE officials hope to get a better assessment by noon today on whether there will be any water and power issues that will prevent classes from resuming tomorrow. The superintendent said, as we depend on schools to be used as shelters to take care of people, he wants to make sure that investments are made at GDOE facilities to ensure shelter staff and residents are safe in the event of another storm. 50% of generation load has been restored, and Guam Power Authority crews continue to energize feeders. GPA spokesperson Art Perez said line crews are focusing this morning on the following areas in Barrigada, Ledzang, Radio Barrigada, Lower Barrigada Heights, Revan Tax area, Chalanpago, and Dedido, pocket areas within the village that include Kaiser, South Liguan, East Sangsong, Machinao, Woostic Road, and Route 3. GPA crews will also be in Ta'i, Manilao, Tumuning on Harmon Loop Road, St. John's area, and Harmon Industrial area, in Jigo near Simon Sanchez High School, Chalan Lachance, and Matagua in Jontya near Elig River, Palantat, and the village. Perez said the list of areas being restored is fluid as crews make their rounds, and GPA is aware of the areas that remain without power. He could not give an estimate for complete restoration, but thanked residents for their patience. More news after this.
The dreaded flu season is here, but FHP Health Center has got you covered. Protect yourself from the flu by taking advantage of FHP's Flu Clinic, open to all ages from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at FHP Health Center on Saturday, September 15. The clinic is free for Take Care members and those with Medicare Part B primary medical insurance, $20 for individuals with Take Care as secondary medical insurance, and $25 for self-pay non-members. Walk-ins accepted. For more info, call FHP at 646-5825.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
10 minutes after 8 a.m. on this Wednesday morning, Congresswoman Madeleine Bordallo has written a letter to President Donald Trump to request approval of a federal emergency declaration for Guam following Typhoon Mangkhut. Bordallo said it would allow federal resources to be made available to assist the government of Guam and local families and businesses with recovery efforts. The Congresswoman requested that the president direct FEMA to authorize hazard mitigation, public assistance, and individual assistance for Guam. The Department of Public Works and the Mayor's Council will meet today to discuss debris removal. Director Glenn Leon Guerrero said crews finished assessments of routed roads on Tuesday. Crews are back out today clearing and picking up that debris. The agency will also be working to reset traffic lights that were restored but are blinking. And finally, no one was injured when a generator inside the First Hawaiian Bank building in Maiti caught fire. The building was evacuated on Tuesday after thick plumes of black smoke were seen, as well as neighboring residents and buildings were evacuated. As a precaution, firefighters responded. They were able to extinguish the blaze quickly without further incident. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray now with a look at regular weather.
Regular weather looks like this, Mindy. Partly sunny skies and isolated showers, maybe some thunderstorms out there. Southeast winds up to about 15 miles an hour, decreasing overnight. Expected daytime highs should be about 86 degrees and overnight lows of about 78 degrees. Expect sunset tonight at 6:24, sunrise tomorrow morning at 6:09. I'm refreshing a couple of things, and while I've lost the radar, I'll have to try to reboot the radar here before we do anything else, because I want to bring Mike in to see if Mike can give me an idea of what this radar is going to tell us. Hold on. It's almost there. Is it coming? Yeah. Okay, I see Guam. There we go.
There we go. And just a light smattering of showers. Actually had one move through here a little while ago. And it's actually perfect typhoon cleanup weather because, normally when a typhoon blows through, the air just dies. It's hot. There's no clouds. There's nothing, and it's just miserable.
Yeah.
At least we're getting some clouds, a few showers, and a light breeze as we work to clean things up.
It was gorgeous yesterday. Yeah. It was absolutely gorgeous. I was able to get more outside work done yesterday than in the last couple of weeks, just because it was so nice. A little overcast out there, and it was a nice, cool breeze blowing through everything. I was starting to get generous. I was looking over the fence. Hey, neighbor, you want me to help you with that?
Yeah, around about sunset, we had some pretty strong showers move up from the south as they kind of cruised on through.
Didn't even notice.
Got pulled to the west by the storm. But, nothing now for us, just some southeast flow, light showers, and there is Super Typhoon Mangkhut.
Yeah.
And again, they had the strength projections and the track projections correct, except for the timing. And this is what they'll tell you. It's all about the timing. And actually, the storm started taking that southward dip as it was moving through the Marianas and strengthening at the same time. And they had forecasted that to take place maybe about 12 to 24 hours earlier. So we super dodged a bullet, because this thing right now, if that had moved through, this station would not, or any station, would not be on the air for a few days.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's a monster. What's the current numbers associated with this? What would you say?
What I'm saying, what I'm hearing is 160 mile per hour winds sustained. And you're getting gusts up to around 180, 185. Just a beast. There's no other way to put it. And right now, current forecast tracks take it to possibly going through the Apari area of northern Luzon. Of course, you have to understand this is a place that gets hit by many typhoons, and so those folks can handle it. And then through the Luzon Strait and south of Taiwan, looks like Hong Kong could possibly be a near miss by this storm towards the end of its days.
Wow. Well, kids, obviously you keep an eye on that because there's still people that travel between here and there. 8:14 in the morning, and we go up and down the list on Facebook Live, folks that are reporting power issues. And I will, as I've said before, read these on the air if for no other reason, so that you know that you've communicated it with somebody that paid attention. I know sometimes you got the power's out and I can't get anybody from GPA on the phone. Tell you what, Michelle Quintanilla, still no power in Santa Rita, no GPA crews down south that I have seen. Our understanding, right, Mindy, is that Art is going to be sending people down to the south. It is among the priority areas that he listed.
It is.
We'll get to as many of those pockets as possible, and Dana's thankful that we're talking about her situation. Tamuning, Dunca area, nope, still no power here. And what have we got? Is there good news? Thought I saw some. North Selen, Henry Kaiser, Dededo. No power for about 6 to 12 homes up there. And who's this? Come on, GTA, let's get it together. Don't know some people are trying to stream the Ray Gibson show. Hey, thanks for staying so. Yes, National Guard directing traffic. Dunca area, still no power. Okay, got that. No power in Santa Rita. Okay, I already read that one. Havade, we are up and running. Here's a good news from Asia, who says we are up and running as of 4 a.m. here in Tamuning and the Oka and the Fahrenholt area. Glad to hear that. And what is Pirates Cove talking about? Your signal is weak down here in Agate and Epan. Well, I'll go up there and I'll kick the transmitter and see if I can get some more go juice out of it. In the meantime, Facebook Live is a great way to hear the radio station, as well as go to thepoint.gu on the World Wide Web and catch us there. We got Blake standing by. He's got. We're going to yak about sports here in just a second and some of the other stuff as we make our way through the morning show here on The Point.
Cheese curls and hot sauce, pantosta and coffee. Great alone, but better together. Here's another perfect pair for you. Docomo Pacific has created the Better Together bundle, combining 2 great services for one low price. Get unlimited local talk, text, and 20 gigs of data, plus unlimited home internet speed up to 20 megabits for $109 per month. You also get free installation and a Galaxy A8 Plus when you sign up today. Mobile plus online from Docomo Pacific. Better together. Some conditions apply. Call 688-KRC store for details.
Quarter after 8 o'clock in the morning, and that's time to start thinking about lunch. Let me just clear the issue for you. Just stop thinking about lunch. Just get it in your heads. You're going to King's today. One in Harmon, one in Tamuning. They got a great lunchtime special today. It is pork sinigang. Tomorrow, meatloaf. Friday, beef tinaktak. So keep that in your head as well. Lunchtime, anytime at King's.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
What did you want me to do? All of the guys? All of them? Sure. Portions of the program brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time for solar. Hot Water Tech, American Water Tech, which is an incredible place. Smarter Water, Better Water, GRMC, and APL, short for American President Lines. They're shipping the future.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Win a 2019 Lexus ES350 and support the Red Cross. Raffle tickets are on sale at Atkins Kroll. The drawing will be September 22nd, and you need not be present to win.
The Ray Gibson Show. News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out.
Mandy says no power in Marianas Terrace, Zigu, and Salanpago. Prudential Mena with a great idea. GPA begin funding for underground power lines.
I totally agree. I was going to ask about that earlier. Why, when Karen came through, that would have been a perfect time to do and redo the infrastructure here. Of course, that's a long time gone, and it's no use crying over spilt milk. But if we had underground utilities here, these outages would be few and far between.
I want to say that once upon a time, they came to us and there was money that was set aside for it, and we didn't take it for whatever reason to take big chunks of...
You mean GovGuam didn't take some money from somebody?
Yeah. It was probably already allotted for something that they couldn't hide it for being something else. So they're like, this is already spoken for, and we have to use it for that? No, we're good.
Find Simon. Simon will remember. Because it was one of those things. It comes up every single time we have this conversation, and why do we still fly as much of the system that we do? Virtually everybody has gone underground one way or the other. I want to say GTA was among the first in the telecom guys to begin to take as much of their infrastructure and put it underground. And I know the cabling guys. That was a couple of years worth of a project. Was to cut holes in the side of the street and begin to run the fiber and the cable underground as much as possible, because a flying system is, number one, expensive to maintain, and number two, you get a storm and all of a sudden you're 35,000 customers down.
Not to mention the fact that these power lines and power poles are a bit of an eyesore. Take all that stuff down. Think how much more beautiful the place
people run
would be.
into them too.
Now,
go
figure.
People kill themselves running their cars into them, or trying to chase down their ex-girlfriends on a back road and it's exploding into them.
Aisha online saying, I'd like to just let everybody know GPA's crew really is out there working hard to get everybody situated. I was out late last night trying to just relax and check on relatives. I saw crews all over the place. Mary Park, and thanks very much. I'm sure they appreciate the nod and the acknowledgement that they are out there working. Cross Island Road still out. What else do I have? Do I have anybody else that I need to worry about here? No, I think we're all right. It's 8:21 and time for Sports with Blake. You gotta change it up every once in a while. I don't ever want anybody to turn on the radio and watch us on Facebook Live and think that they're going to get the same junk that they got yesterday. It was always a different program and a different presentation. And time now for us to pretend to talk sports.
We offer entirely new junk with every show.
That should be our slogan. Our new The Ray Gibson Show. New junk every day. You'd go shopping at a place like that.
Yeah.
If you were just, remember when they first opened up Home Depot?
Yeah.
I could go to Home Depot every day just to see what new stuff they brought in overnight, and I'm kind of still that way. There's sections of the store I don't go to. Because I want to feel like I'm surprised when I go there. Hey, look, they got wood.
As a kid, I remember walking through Toys R Us and the big toy stores and being like, one day when I'm an adult, I'll never hear the word no when I walk through these stores. I'll have my own money.
Right.
And now I've gotten a little older and I no longer walk through those stores. I walk through Home Depot, and it's like the same feeling all over. I'm like, well, I wish I had all the money because I can't afford this.
And you can't walk through Toys R Us anymore.
Home Depot credit cards. I got one of those Home Depot credit cards. I just
spend
put it
enough
on
to give you orange shorts, right?
I just regret it later on. Just kind of regret the thing later on. All right, so was there sports? Do we have any sports to talk about?
No, it will resume. IIAAG will resume on Thursday. Everything has been canceled up until then. The cross-country from Monday that we affectionately referred to yesterday, that will be rescheduled. It seems, hopefully, GML is going to try to get Game 3 going on Friday, but I know that Mark Colby was sending out some pictures of Paseo. So
is it dry?
Well, hopefully it will be by Friday, because their next game is scheduled for Friday. But I don't know if the lights took any damage. I don't know if infrastructure or if physically if it took any damage. But
how would you be able to tell? You remember what a lousy shape it was before they started the season?
Yeah, well, at least none of the poles were bent in half.
Coming off the ceiling. The concrete's coming off the ceiling. That ain't the storm. It was doing that in January.
Yeah. But I think I think more so the lights. If they can get it lit, I think that they'll play. And of course it's dry, but. We'll see. We'll keep an ear out for them. But as of right now, nothing has developed in anything new, or nothing new is what I'm trying to say, has developed. So we'll plan for Game 3 on Friday in TFN. Elsewhere, let's see here. That's pretty much it. Everything is on hold till at least Thursday, and then we have golf and high school cross country, which both start in the afternoon. So hopefully it's not raining and we
See,
can get that going.
That's the suck part of recovery, is not having. I mean, everybody going out of their way. Thanks GPA, thanks GWA for not losing water anywhere on Guam.
Thanks.
That was really, really cool. And thank the people over at DOE for watching everybody in the shelters and stuff. But can we hurry up with this? Because I got other things. I got to get on with my life here. There's things I'm waiting. I bought some furniture, right? I bought some furniture, and it was supposed to have been loaded yesterday. It was supposed to have been in the van and in the living room and the kitchen yesterday.
Nah. No. You know what? My landlord...
I called. I said, when are we going to be able to do this? And they're like, well, is Friday good? Do I have a choice? He says, yeah, Saturday. I said, yeah, I guess Friday's going to have to work then.
My landlord lucked out, too, because my aircon went out, like, right before the storm. So she was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to send somebody over. Like, and then the day after, we were like, oh, start preparing. She was like, oh, yeah, it's going to... So even when I get power, I'm still going to be down in aircon. So I got that to look forward to.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah,
Isn't that
it's
just
awesome.
crazy fun? So, I mean, but it's life in the tropics. Frankly, I'd rather go through that here than anywhere else. I mean, Carolinas are getting ready to get hit by, what's the name of that storm, Francine, that's going through Florence. That's going through the Carolinas.
When that Sandy hit, wasn't New York City like 2 weeks without power? Like, I mean, like parts of Manhattan and Brooklyn. I mean, like that's you know what I mean? Because that's pretty crazy. I mean, it's one thing to be like, my house is kind of open, at least when it's daylight, it's still kind of light around. But I mean, can you imagine living in like a third floor walk up in the middle of Manhattan and not having any power? It's black everywhere.
I couldn't imagine living in one of those even if they had power.
Like sardines.
Tough stuff. So that's the worst part of it for you is just not having electricity, right?
Yeah, and it's really not that bad. If it was just me, it wouldn't be that bad, but having...
if it was just you, you'd be hanging out at Mocha's with Jared and Frankie and me.
Oh, yeah. I'd be down at the beach with you or doing something. But, yeah, with a 2-year-old, it's kind of difficult to explain why the iPad is charged, but there's no Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah. But now there's Wi-Fi over at Mindy's house now. Are the kids being allowed to get back on their iPads and computers? Are you mommying by remote control here?
Yeah, so they're in for a nice surprise. 11:45, my youngest told me, Mom, the internet is back on. He was so excited, and I got, good, go to sleep.
Yep.
And so they're going to be so excited when they wake up this morning, and then they're going to go in their room, and they're going to see a sign that says, Xander and Kingsley, do the following chores. Make sure you brush your teeth, and then call me, and then I'll tell you when you can play Fortnite. And they're going to go, oh,
Come
Dad,
on.
do we have to?
They were dreaming about that all
If
night.
I bring my own projector, my own PS4, can I just use your Wi-Fi? Maybe play your boys in Fortnite because I have no power. I've been wanting to play. I've been wanting to play my PS4 for the last 3 days.
Great. If you look up here, you'll see Fortnite. Look, you see the bottom one that says new with the arrow? That is a Fortnite character right there.
That's Fortnite.
Okay, well, I'll get to that. I'm going to YouTube now. How do I spell Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Yeah, night N-I-T-E. So Fortnite, Fortnite.
Do you know all the dances, the floss?
I just got a PS4 on my birthday on August 15th. So I've only had it for. I'm new to the whole PS4 thing.
Okay, I'll see if I can do a video here.
They've got like all these dances. Like,
by the way, your boys play baseball. I saw a Dodgers baseball sticker on your van. You're a baseball mom.
Yes, I am. I'm a baseball mom. That's not a soccer van. That's a baseball van.
I'm just trying to see if I play. I'm looking for something that I can play. Sometimes on YouTube, you got to be real careful on things that you click on. Even as friendly as it looks, there might be somebody that typed in words that you shouldn't actually play on the screen of a Facebook Live. But let me see if I can.
You just see it's a lot of shooting. And then they do these things where it's like drops, and it drops you to certain places, and you play with your friends, and then like you get these skins or something. I think those are different characters, and then they do different dances, and that's like what's really cool. It's all the rage.
Oh, I like the sound already.
Yeah.
I'd turn the sound down. I don't know what we're going to hear. It looks like there's a guy that's doing some kind of annotation. So
that's a third-person shooter, Ray, because you can see your character. If you were first person, that it'd be like Doom or like Halo. Like you would be the visual. So that's the difference. So this is massive third-person shooter that is really, I mean, it's huge, right? I mean, NFL players play this. Like, everybody plays this.
You can, so obviously you can outfit yourself, right? You can amass enough points, you get a gun. You amass enough points, you can get a little cute backpack like the lady has.
And, of course, the point is the way that they make their money is you can even buy special outfits, you know? So if you want to spend real money, just go and, like, add your credit card. Yeah, V-Bucks. Then you can actually go buy a special gun. You don't have to worry about winning it or earning it. You can just like spend $10 and go get a special outfit with a gun, and I mean it's very intricate.
Ray is mesmerized.
For $10 can buy Ray and I a couple of six-packs, and we can go on the beach and talk about what we do if we can play Fortnite.
I don't know. It looks like there's just a whole lot of jumping around.
Just wait till they start dancing.
I've actually seen this game before, and I remember watching it going, I don't get the fascination with it, but then again, I'm maybe I'm just is there a Lara Croft version of this?
Yes.
There's girls on there too.
Yeah, but the new Lara Croft is coming out in a month. So
I don't want to be the guy that gets his jollies looking at girls on video games.
In September.
There's websites for guys like that. I don't go to those.
Lara Croft Online will be up in about a month. But just to let you know, so for May, Ray, Fortnite generated a record 318 million in revenue in May 2018 alone.
That's a lot of V-Bucks.
Yeah, 318 million in May 2018 alone. Fortnite made.
Can we do adverts? Can we come up with, let's say for Star 101, right? Can we come up with a Star 101 like T-shirt that you can sell with V-Bucks? I mean, have we gotten? Is it possible that you can do third-party applications on this? Can she walk around with headphones that say the point?
You'd have to kind of do what that guy's doing because you'd have to Twitch it. Or Steam it, so we're like you play the game, and believe it or not, if you were to sign on as Ray Gibson and play Fortnite, a bunch of people, just like they log on and stream this show, will log on and watch you play a game. I'm not joking. Like, see this guy right here?
Yeah,
he's probably got 1,000 people watching him play that game right now, as opposed to just playing it themselves. They'd rather watch somebody
I've never understood that.
I don't either.
Why do I've asked my kids, like, wouldn't you have more fun playing
the game as opposed to watching a guy play?
Somebody else?
Well, the reason why you'd want to do that is so that you could learn from this guy. If he's like really, really good, at Mindy Uggan level, right? And people are going to go, okay, that's how I get past this, character. That's how I kill this stage or whatever.
Right.
So I think that's the most. In fact, I've never made it through a game that I have played from beginning to end without the assistance of some kind of walkthrough. Mm-hmm. Some kind of, and you can go to YouTube and catch all of that stuff. So when is this going to become a sport?
It already is. It's already esports are already a thing. I was going to say, so the top streamer on Twitch right now, it's a guy named Ninja. He has 11 million followers. And he's got 309 million people that watch him play video games on Twitch, average a month.
Like, they just sit there and waste their time watching him.
Crazy.
And he makes a ton of money.
Ninja. I was going to say, because you know what I would do with that
They monetize all of it.
Yeah, I'd say these are the things that I want from Amazon.com. Buy them for me. And I'm sure that there's that kind of thing going on because it's the internet, man. I mean, girls used to do that. I mean, they get these pretty girls and they put themselves up on Instagram, and you can communicate with them all you want, and then at some point they'll say, "Hey, listen, if you want to talk to me some more, here's my wish list at Amazon. So buy that stuff for me, and that will earn you, another couple of weeks of flirting with me."
Carlos Ocelot Rodriguez, #1 in the world. He is a Spanish League of Legends player who is identified with the European team SK Gaming. He is also a former professional World of Warcraft player. He has been described, Ray, as the David Beckham of esports because of his branding. He's well-spoken. He's good-looking. Carlos Ocelot Rodriguez made $950,000 last year from gaming alone.
So who's the big Fortnite player on Guam?
That's a good question. I don't know. I know my buddy Teddy's pretty good. He's always posting to his Facebook page. He's always linking it to his Facebook page. What you would like about PS4, Ray, is really cool, is there's a feature on there where you can just hit a button and it'll automatically stream what you're playing. Or say you wanted to oh, you got the new Spider-Man game? You got the new Lara Croft? I'm like, okay, yeah, Ray, I do. But before you buy it, log on and you can watch me play.
That's crazy.
So it's a really easy button on the controller that you hit, and it brings up all those. You can stream, you can watch, you can do everything.
888-255. I need somebody to tell me what is happening on Marine Corps Drive from about looks like the intersection where the Yeah, over by where the new the farmers market is. I've got traffic looking like it's moving very slow from there all the way over to St. John's.
Maybe it's the GPA line crews? 'Cause those are some of the areas that aren't mentioned this morning.
That's a good
Not
couple
sure.
of miles worth of Marine Corps Drive that is moving slower than normal. I'm not saying it's stopped. I'm just looking at this big, long line of traffic starting from about the flea market, the farmers market, all the way down. Looks like Route 16 from about the beginning of the Micronesia Mall block up to that intersection is also backed up. Seeing the same thing, moving in the opposite direction
said
over by
it's just
Malakuta's
bad
place.
traffic.
Oh,
Just
really?
bad
Because I
traffic.
know yesterday it was a middle lane, a little past the light. It wasn't just traffic being directed at the light because it was out. It was also a middle lane closure when I was
Tom
going north.
Dodgy writing is bad traffic. Interesting. All right,
Okay.
wondering if there's an accident, something like that. If there is, 888-8255. Send me a WhatsApp at 988-5874. That's terribly all the time we have for sports today.
We went pretty long. It was good. Good
I think
sports
so.
today.
I think so. Coming up, Mindy's going to take care of some headlines, and we got more yak and all kinds of other recovery stuff as we get through this Wednesday morning.
Morico Equipment stocks and sells a wide variety of heavy equipment parts. They sell heavy equipment parts to keep Guam trucking, building, digging, pushing, grading, protecting, and patrolling. If you are looking for service, repair, or replacement parts for your heavy equipment, call Morico on Epow Road at 649-1946 or click on moricoequipment.com. Morico Equipment, heavy equipment parts.
Oh, interesting. Carl Fukuda writing in on the subject of Fortnite and why it's difficult for Guam players to get competitive is because of where we are in the system. Apparently, there is a lag on the internet. So when you press the button, even though you might have action happening in front of you on your own screen, while it takes a while for the network to get that communication, and in the space of even that gazillionths of a millisecond, that might be just enough time for you to lose valuable position and timing in the game. I guess. 8:35 in the morning, and headlines now for the Guam Daily Post. Her last one for the day, Mindy Uggan.
35 minutes past 8 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. Half a day, I'm Mindy Uggan, and here are some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Department of Public Health and Social Services in Manilao currently has no power. They are calling people with appointments to reschedule. The northern and southern clinics are open. Residents are asked to contact 735-7159 after 1 p.m. today for updates. Traffic control has resumed this morning at non-functional traffic lights, so as you head on out, please drive cautiously and watch out for National Guard members and police officers who are directing traffic today. Guam Power Authority crews have also been working tirelessly throughout the night with overlapping shifts to continue restoration efforts. Those efforts continue this morning. The agency says crews are aware of the areas on the island that do not have power at this time, and they do ask for continued patience as they make their rounds. 52 families are being housed at the second-tier shelter at the Ostumbo Gym. Superintendent John Fernandez says 15 campuses housed over 2,143 residents during the typhoon. The shelters were closed on Tuesday by 5 p.m. Guam Office of Civil Defense Administrator Charles Esteves said the agency is working with the Federal Emergency Management Agency and volunteer organizations to provide assistance to those who were displaced from the storm. He said FEMA had already sent some food and water supplies a few days before the storm. Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo has already written to President Donald Trump asking for a federal emergency declaration to provide assistance to island residents and the government. Meanwhile, assessments of school campuses are underway, and DOE Superintendent John Fernandez is hopeful that he will get an update on facilities to determine if classes can resume tomorrow. And finally, the Guam Election Commission will meet tonight to tabulate absentee and qualified provisional ballots, and once that's done, the commission is finally expected to certify those primary election results. It's only been a few weeks. The agency, meanwhile, awaits the release of fiscal year 2016 funding that they need to pay off outstanding debts from the primary election, including the payment of precinct officials, the use of facilities and security. That money is also desperately needed to order the general election ballots that must be mailed out no later than September 24th. 21st.
Wow.
For these stories and much more, log on.
21st, that's like next week.
Yes. For these stories and much more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
You're going to have a yard sale or something. It's just, I don't know, find old stuff in the building and start selling it. I keep thinking that we ought to do that with the entire government of Guam. On Facebook Live right now, I've got some images that look an awful lot like the image that you've got on the front page of the Guam Daily Post. Somebody went out and did some drone work yesterday, huh?
Yes, we have a great multimedia videographer, Dantana Karaskis, and he's licensed to use that and took it out yesterday and got some great aerial shots up in the north of some of the horrible damage that, I mean, just devastating up there. And the Gilbaza zeroed down and some parts of Jigo. So as you, I think you all can see it now.
Yeah, I've got one on the screen, probably the most dramatic
the
here.
roof is just completely gone.
Yeah, and it's straight ahead shot, looking straight down on the verticals and the supports of the house. The roof is gone, and you can see all of the property. Whoever lives there, virtually everything that they own, stacked up against the walls here. And I don't know if it's because that's where they put it or whether that's where the typhoon put it after it ripped the rooftop away. So while you might be thinking that all I got to worry about is getting the internet working and getting the kids back on Fortnite and what's for dinner tonight, there are people wondering where they're sleeping tonight because the place where they used to live looks just like that. And it's not the only house that we've seen. So you've got the drone. But I understand that Ray Tenorio was able to get on some kind of...
I think the HSC-25 was out yesterday.
They took him out?
And while Don and some of the crew, crew were up there yesterday, they were able, they noticed the helicopter. So we think that it was the lieutenant governor as well as FEMA officials, obviously, who are here on island. There's over 100 of them who came to Guam prior to Typhoon Mangkhut's arrival.
I tell you what, the timing is great, and I hope one of the things that they, obviously it's nice that we've got operations guys, and from our conversation with Oya yesterday, we've got some people that from FEMA that are also money guys. Yes. But I would hope that when they leave Guam, when they eventually leave Guam, I hope that they get a pretty good sense of what our best practices are. I mean, we've been through this, living in Typhoon Alley, and memories that for many people going all the way back to Karen, we know how to deal with the front end of these things, the middle of them, and the back end. So I hope they're able to say, you know what, when it comes to best practices, you ought to see the way Guam handles storms.
Well, the FEMA guy that's here, they had a press conference yesterday. I believe his name is David Gervino, and he just said that the island's readiness in terms of residents and the government, he said it was phenomenal. And when you look at what people are going through in Hurricane Florence in the States right now, it's the panic and just everything. And you look at Guam, it's just night and day.
We're doing okay. All right. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Mindy is going to take off and go and be the editor and the boss of everything over at the Guam Daily Post. And then later on, she's going to send a message to the kids that it's okay to play Fortnite. I think we've learned that much about her personal infrastructure. 8:41 in the morning, and we'll call that iConnect time. They are the practical choice. Call 888-8888 and get the details on your mobile, your internet, and even your push-to-talk plans.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
What if I told you there were 3 words to describe the journey to success? That you might be just 3 words away from your dreams. I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, we'll reveal what those 3 words are and what they mean.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
Yeah, the guys are telling me it's just lousy traffic out there. All the major intersections are manned right now, so it's just a question of everybody being back on the road and remembering how to drive, because we haven't done a whole lot of drive time anything in the last bunch of days. There is GovGuam at work today, and there are some schools that are in session, and so I think that's why there's a lot of people moving around. Still seeing that line of traffic from about where the flea market is, the new flea market / farmers market, all the way down into basically down into this neck of the woods in Upper Tumon. It gets a little bit better once you're past the intersection of 1 and 3 and 1 and 16, but still busy enough all the way over to where the St. John's intersection is. Route 16 over by Malakuti's place. There are a lot of people, I think, making that turn at the McDonald's, either to go to McDonald's or to go through, what is that, the Hamburger Highway. I think that may be cause for a little bit of the slowdown there. Let me see if I can just take a quick jog on the Gizmo. Agania Heights is clear. That's nice. Don't see anybody lined up in front of Anderson Air Force Base or Big Navy in Sumai. So I think outside of that little drama that we've got happening in the north end over by the Micronesia Mall through the flea market area, other than that, I think everything else is smooth. It's 8:43. That's right now traffic on the point.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
That's nice. 1970s vintage porn music. Where'd we find that? 8:43 in the morning. Hi, Ray Gibson Show. Until it's not going to be anymore. 888-8255. Hit me up on the Facebook Live if you want to. Tom Toddsy talking about bad traffic. He says, no traffic control through there. Stand corrected. Bruce Dinsman writing in, Route 3 intersection is being finished, and it's been down to one lane in each direction. All right, I see what's happening. Most major intersections that Bruce has been through has had some degree of traffic control. That's nice. And power still out in Talan-Uxa off Santa Cruz in the Talan-Pago area. All right, I put that on the radio and maybe somebody will hear it. Mark writing in saying power still out in the Tacano subdivision and East Gedzinero up on the extreme north end of Guam, where some of those interesting pictures came from that you can see on the Guam Daily Post. As we move through this Wednesday morning, delighted to hear that airplanes are coming and going at the Guam International Airport. And it occurred to me as I was watching that first plane come in late yesterday afternoon, I thought, well, that's great because it's been quiet all day long. And every once in a while you see a little plane flying around, but and then watching that one flight, I want to say the Japan flight on United coming in last night. It was kind of nice to see that. Also got a note from Oya that said that that was the first big shift for a bunch of new employees they have at the upstairs. And so it's nice to see that things are moving a little bit smoother for them, and they're able to get out of the airport as quickly as possible and to begin to enjoy Guam in all of its restoration finest. Isn't it nice? 8:45 in the morning, and so that's one port that's open. There is another port that we worry about, and that is the seaport down in Petey, and wondering how things are going down there. The boss of the shop is Joanne Brown. Good morning, Joanne.
Hey, Ray. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm 99.99% recovered.
Oh, that's very good. That's pretty good on most days.
Yeah, it's not bad on even pre-typhoon days. Yeah, I think the biggest problem that I have is many of the places that I like to lurk are cash only right now, which means that I've got to go find an ATM.
I know. It's one of the things. It's like gas the car. Make sure you get some cash on you because we never know what's going to happen after the storm. And, there's always resources, food, and other things. Everyone needs to get, so totally understand.
Well, I'm sure that you saw some pictures of, say, Anderson's Commissary and Home Depot with a whole bunch of empty shelves around here, and obviously we're going to need to restock as quickly as we can some of those essential items that you can find at Home Depot and the different grocery stores, which means that a lot of that stuff we don't fly in; it gets shipped to Guam. Have you reopened the port?
Yes, we have. I mean, we're in the process right now of unsecuring our cranes. We started that since yesterday, and we're going to check them to make sure everything's all well and we don't have any issues with moisture. And then once that gets cleared, hopefully later today, then we will be able to begin the process of, as vessels are scheduled to come in, we'll be able to address what we need to do to move cargo.
Are there any ships offshore that have been orbiting, waiting for their time at the dock?
Well, on most days, we always have a vessel coming in. So, yes, they would have been sent out because we started securing the port since Friday afternoon. I mean, it's a process that we need a little bit of lead time because, again, all the cranes have to be secured. Our equipment has to be put in a safe place and all that. So we've been in the process since yesterday, of course, once we got the all clear with the storm and clearance from the Coast Guard to begin to gear the port back up. So overall, any incidences we had were relatively minor. It doesn't affect our operations, but right now, if anyone's trying to call the port, they're not able to get us on the landline right now, so we have to find out what's going on with that.
Hey, what happened?
Otherwise, we're on Island Power, and we're here, and we're having a regular work day today.
Okay, so phone, I just need to put that down because it's important. Port phones are down right now?
Right now, yes. And we'll announce once they get back up. We did have an issue with connecting our power to the main admin building yesterday, and they were able to get that connected. And, of course, now we're getting in and turning everything on, and that's one of the things we have to find out why there's a disconnection with the telephone line.
Now, what about some of the other, Joanna, what about some of the other port facilities? You've got the marinas in the boat basin, et cetera. How'd they fare in the storm?
The marinas fared fairly well. There were just minor issues with like light pedestals and things, but nothing significant. Okay. Dock B down in Agate, of course, that's the remaining wooden dock, and we do have a contractor that we've already went through the whole bidding process and has been selected and is currently now going through the permitting process so that they can address the remaining remnants of Dock B. I looked at it yesterday. I looked at it before the storm on Sunday and looked at it yesterday. Most of it's still there. I was wondering if it was going to float off, but it's still there.
Unfortunately, I had the same feeling.
The contractor will be coming in and in the near future and removing the remaining wooden dock there, and then from there we're working on trying to address funding so we can complete the fourth dock and complete that process.
Well, you've changed the prices, right? The monthly rates down there for people that tie up on that.
We are now going through the.
PUC hasn't finished with that. That's right.
PUC actually had several weeks ago. They did the island-wide. They had 3 different meetings around the island, public meetings, and then a couple of Thursdays ago we had the formal meeting with the PUC commissioners, and they're currently reviewing that rate request. And again, it's to equalize the rates because they're different rates for the same space between Agate and Agania, which doesn't make any sense. And then, of course, the rates haven't been addressed for almost 20 plus years in some areas, so. It's to bring that up to standard, and then again be able to raise enough revenue to reinvest it back into maintenance, since millions of federal dollars, but also substantial amounts of port money has been invested in upgrading both Agania and Agate. We want to see those facilities maintained, as I'm sure the users that are there do.
Oh, with as many people that and it's not just fishermen, right? I mean, it's the thousands of people a week that go through the ports, those facilities at the Boat Basin and the Agate Marina that go out for dolphin watching and parasailing and all this other stuff. Right. And there's significant business, and I think one of the things is the same way that it's not just maintenance, but I'd love to see somebody come up with a grand plan to turn all of that into something that looks and feels a little bit more resorty for the guests that are going through there. And it's not just getting rid of Dock B, but down at the marina. But when you finally get around to replacing that, to replace that with something that's a little bit more resorty. I mean, the process of getting people onto and off of boats there feels kind of 1940s still. And I just think, the same way that we've got jetways and things like that at the Guam International Airport, maybe there's something, I don't know, sexier, fancier way of dealing with the marina and Boat Basin.
Well, there's just a little debate there on who's going to pay for it, because of course you have the regular, recreational boaters and recreational fishermen that are kind of upset that, why are we getting the rate increases when there are thousands of tourists every day that come down and use these facilities that impact wear and tear. So I'm sure that will be part of the debate process. And of course, once you get the main structures addressed, which of course, in the case of Agania, that hadn't been done in almost 50 plus years. And in the case of Agate, these upgrades have not occurred since it was,
since it was built in the 80s. Yeah. Joe Ada administration, right?
Joe Ada administration. And so it's a big step forward. And I think once we get that in, then we can look at what's the next level from where we're at. But again, these are still significant improvements from where the marinas were. But it's got a pretty nice price tag. Millions. It's $1 million+ for a single dock down at Agate now. So.
Can you privatize it? Has anybody had the conversation about privatizing or maybe outsourcing the management of it?
There always has been that discussion over the years, but again, you're going to get probably to a certain degree from recreational and recreational boaters and fishermen may be concerned about that because privatization doesn't make things cheaper. Some people may think that's the case, but they may find a very different reality. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of debate with that process, just because you're taking what is looked at and actually is a public asset. And, everyone says privatization is the way to go, but there are pluses and minuses with that need to be looked at with public resources.
You also in charge of the Harbor Safe Refuge on the other side?
We are in charge of the Harbor Safe Refuge that's on the opposite side of the harbor here from the Port Authority.
Yeah, that's the Section 8 of the port, isn't it? that area back there.
Well, we are addressing the installing new anchors. I know they've already done. It took some time to do the assessment. That's been completed, and so in the near future, also we'll be addressing the anchors there, so it'll be more user friendly for our boaters when they have to come in. But we did have a number of boats that came in to take advantage of the Harbor Refuge during the typhoon.
No, as is usually the case. As is usually the case. All right. Now, we talked about inbound cargo. What about outbound cargo? You know, we got the guys from APL are sending daily ships up to Saipan. Have they been able to get anything out of the port?
Right now, we have had no ships in port since late Friday. So once our cranes are back in operation, and again, it takes time to secure and unsecure the cranes.
Yep.
And we have to test them and run and make sure there's no impact. Normally, we've had issues, not in all the cranes, but minor issues with moisture as a result of the rains and stuff. But if we get the all clear later today, because I just got the call this morning from our maintenance manager, then we will have the cranes fully operational and we'll be able to address vessels that are coming in. And, of course, that's when we're able to load, unload, transship, for vessels that are going out to the neighboring islands.
In and out. Yeah, because especially up in Saipan and Rota, they got hit pretty hard from this storm.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
all right.
and I was thinking about that this morning because when they had the typhoon a couple of years ago in Saipan, we had to put additional resources behind, the manpower to address loading and unloading, telephone poles and other things that they needed in a very timely fashion up there to address typhoon response as well.
No,
but otherwise, we're doing fairly good, and we'll be ready to go shortly.
Gotcha. Joanne, always fun talking with you. We'll get around if anything else pops up. Just give me a ring back.
Okay, no problem, Ray. Good to talk to you. Have a good day.
I certainly will. 8:54 in the morning. Did you do the count? 0. Did you catch that? 0. Somebody must have told her.
Of that, I am certain.
Turning up the radio, wondering if I'm going to make a comment about it. No, I wouldn't do that. 8:54 a.m. On the Point FM 93.3, and taking a look at the Facebook Live, see what folks have got to say in the last few minutes. Power out in Telenuxa. All right, Bruce, I got the word out on that. Still no power, says Lady D, in the back of the Hoffa Day Market near Simon Sanchez High School. Power all around us, but no us. So here's where the technology comes into play. Everybody's got radio read meters in the Guam Power Authority system. Everybody. I want to say virtually everybody, because I know that when they first rolled them out, there were a couple of people that were all freaked out about these things being able to give you cancer or something like that, or make your plants die. And they said, no, I want the old analog meters. And I think the deal was, okay, since you're going to be costing us more because somebody's actually got to get out and read your meter, we're going to charge you this. So, but my guess is that now everybody virtually is on the radio read meters. So what that means is they know where everything is. They know where every single meter is all the time. And they know that all of these meters should be registering something. So if there's 20 meters in a place and only 19 of them are on, the one that's off sticks out like a sore thumb. And so they'll be able to know, Denise, that everybody, that you have got your section energized, but your meter's not spinning. They might be able to send somebody out.
The thing that I would suggest is that if there is power all around you, but not you, you might want to go outside and see what on your house is not connected, because it may be your responsibility.
Yeah, it might be something at the weatherhead end of it. But she's a smart lady. She knows about things like that. So my guess is that she's probably already made that check. Linda Gabriel writing in this morning, the power is out again in Astumbo Deredu. Probably most of the island. It was on and off 4 times consecutively this morning, hoping none of my appliances were affected. And isn't that the deal? Isn't that the scare when things like that happen, when we are in these moments, when the lights are on, but they're not on all that bright, when there is a flicker in your circuits, and all of the little power supplies start to make this little clicking noise, and you go, I wonder if that's good or bad, and eventually it's bad. And so the smart money is get everything as much as possible behind some kind of surge protector. Try to get the certain. Now I've got a washing machine, and there was when I was small. Grandma had a washing machine that was an open. You remember this, right? It was the old open washing machine,
right?
And you put clothes in the top, and you put the detergent in there, and you turn it around, and it spins and spins and spins, and motions and agitates the water and does all that. And then you take it out, and then you put it through the rollers.
Yeah.
You put the clothes through the rollers and get as much moisture out of it as possible.
Before you hang them up.
Then you hang them up on the line. That was the way it was done when my grandmother was my age. It's 2018, and you can go to any appliance store on Guam and get your hands on a brand new washing machine that has more electronics, more computerized parts in it than the Apollo flights to the moon had.
Our phones have that.
Exactly. And so the point of this story is they're more sensitive. Those old washing machines, I mean, you take whatever GPA threw at them. You throw lousy power at it, so what? I mean, it's got this DC motor in there, right? AC motor from back in the old days. It didn't care. It didn't care about that. But the new ones now, everything in the front end is electronic. So even if you've got something that looks hardy and it feels hardy, it's a washing machine. These things will take bullets. No, they won't. There's sensitive electronics in the front panel of them. And so go to the store. I'm thinking, what's the one up north in Guam Hardwood, right? I'm sure any of them have one, but in my head, the one that I was able to buy for my washing machine is just it's a small one that plugs into the outlet, and then you plug your washing machine into it.
That's what they gave me for my internet modem.
Yeah, and it's got just enough surge protection to protect the delicate electronics on the inside. I mean, like I said, the motor's going to be fine. Motor's going to work for you all day long. It's the circuit board on the front that is sensitive. Traffic backed up. My buddy Hank Gohan writing, traffic backed up from the Dededo precinct to the mall past St. John's due to the signals down. No accidents. The guards are there doing their best, but all three southbound lanes are open. Everybody being safe on wet roads out there. So it's just a lot of traffic. And like I said, there are schools open, and we got Gov Guam working today, so there's a whole lot more cars on the road. All seem to be moving slow, but moving is the point. It's 9 a.m., the radio station, KUSG. Agatna, headquarters for Fox News. That's coming up next.
Millions in the path. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Hurricane Florence taking aim at the southeast with states of emergency declared in the Carolinas and Virginia.
We've upgraded our watches to warnings, so now hurricane warnings exist here all across the coastal areas of North Carolina, down across the northern half here of South Carolina. So within about 36 hours, we're going to be feeling the hurricane force winds go on. It's still at 140 miles an hour. Any changes that we see before it makes landfall to its strength, at least to the strongest winds, are going to be because of eyewall replacement cycles.
Fox meteorologist Rick Reichmuth. President Trump says the federal government is standing by, ready to help.
Any amounts of money, whatever it takes, we're going to do. But we're already set up. We have tremendous trucking systems. We have food systems. We have a lot of contractors waiting, but for the most part, it's been handled by FEMA.
The coastal city of Wilmington, North Carolina, right in the path of Florence. This man says not everybody's taking the threat seriously.
We've had them coming at us and turn left or go north and hit New York and things like that. So people are just waiting until they're sure they want to invest, because it is a bit of an investment for them to go ahead and board everything up.
Local officials have advised people along the coast to evacuate and warning people that choose to stay that they are on their own. The woman convicted for her part in kidnapping a then 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart 16 years ago is about to be released from prison.
The Utah Board of Pardons and Parole announced in a letter that Wanda Barzee will be released next week, now that time served is being credited. She began serving a federal sentence in May of 2010. When that ended 6 years later, she was moved to serve a 1 to 15-year state sentence. In counting her federal time, Barzee's release date was recalculated and moved up from 2024 to this year, September 19th.
Fox's Colonel Scott, Fox News, fair and balanced.
KFC KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Sometimes a penny saved can lead to much more than a penny earned. With GPA Energy Sense rebate program, the power is yours. Earn money back while saving on your monthly power bill. GPA Energy Sense rebate program will help lower your initial costs when purchasing approved GPA energy efficient appliances and upgrades with monthly savings you can expect. For more Energy Sense saving ideas, visit GuamPowerAuthority.com or like us on Facebook. GPA, bringing energy solutions to you.
Democrats are hopeful to retake the House in November, but the Senate Republican leader is raising concerns about the Senate, too.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the wind is in the Republican faces in November and listed several states where he sees it too close to call dead heat.
Every one of them, like a knife fight in an alley. I mean, just a brawl.
Republicans have a 2-seat majority in the Senate and are defending in only 9 states compared to Democrats trying to hold on to 26 Senate seats. The Fox News Power Rankings show 5 races as toss-ups, including GOP-held seats in Arizona and Tennessee. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Another twist in the move by MGM Resorts to sue victims of last fall's mass shooting. The Associated Press reporting the casino operator now offering to make $500 charitable donations in the name of each person who waives or has their lawyer accept legal notice of the lawsuits. Days after the controversial call against Serena Williams at the U.S. Open, reaction continues to come in.
Tennis officials continue to stand by U.S. Open chair umpire Carlos Ramos, saying he followed the proper rules regarding Serena Williams' behavior during Saturday's women's final. Richard Ings is a former gold badge umpire who says Serena left Ramos with no choice.
In any situation that would be a code violation, a player just can't go around calling an umpire a cheat.
Ings speaking with BBC Radio, Williams penalized a game after verbally abusing Ramos during that loss to Naomi Osaka, later fined $17,000 for her language, along with breaking her racket and receiving coaching signals from the stands. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Active shooters with semi-automatic rifles would kill twice as many people as those using non-automatic weapons, although chances of dying if hit in either type of assault are the same. That's the finding of a new study by Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
We get it. Gas and utility rates keep rising with no end in sight. But with Double Play from GTA, you can get an extra sweet deal that'll save you extra cash. Sign up today and get 50 megabits per second with fiber home internet, unlimited talk and text, plus 25 gigabytes of wireless data. And new customers get the first month free with no contract. Save over $500 in the first year and get extra with Double Play from GTA. Conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more details.
Indeed. 5 after 9 o'clock in the morning, portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant, where today the big lunchtime special is pork sinigang. Yes, and that's the signal that we are in the middle of the week. Meatloaf tomorrow and then beef tenactac on Friday. Yum. Lunch at King's.
Don't wait another day and waste another dollar. You can start saving today. At Guahan Insurance Services, we are here to help protect your investment and save you money. We offer insurance advising for business, car, and home insurance. So come and visit us at our new office at Camacho Landmark Center at Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning, and let us show you that you can count on us for all your insurance needs. Call 475-1162.
Portions of the program also brought to you by American President Lines. They're shipping the future just as soon as Joanne Brown says it's clear to. And Guam Regional Medical City, American Water Tech, Smarter Water, Better Water. And then there's Micronesia, renewable energy. And never been a better time to go solar. Call them and find out how to do that today.
Honolulu, Seattle, LA, Vegas, Chicago, New York. With your First Hawaiian Bank United Mileage Plus credit card, you can save 10% on United flights to these great cities and anywhere else in the U.S. Book your tickets at the United City Ticket Office, talk to your travel agent, or go to united.com and use promo code FHB18U. Visit FHB.com/United Fair Sale 18 for offer details and restrictions. Terms and conditions apply. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC.
It's time for a Wendy's break. 4 for 4. That's the big deal. Save you some money that you can use for, I don't know, recovering from the typhoon that we had over the last couple of days. So go over to Wendy's and say, I want one of those things. You got 8 different sandwich items to choose from, a couple of which even come with bacon. You get the nuggets and the fries and a drink for just $4. It is a great meal on a deal. No, a deal on a meal at Wendy's.
Attention GovGuam employees. Open enrollment for GovGuam health insurance plans begins on September 12th through the 28th. With a wide range of healthcare offerings, Take Care's benefit plans allow members access to more than 120 medical providers, 40 dental providers, and 20 pharmacies in the region. As a Take Care member, you'll have access to 19 fitness partners, including the largest fully functioning fitness center in Hagåtña and Dedido. Our commitment to our island only grows, and our commitment to your health, it's never been stronger. Take Care. Our island, your health plan.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
Indeed, 8 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and make our way into the rest of this Wednesday. I got Bob Klitsky getting on the radio about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and sometime in the next few days, we'll actually have this lady in the studio. Normally at this time of the year, I'd be interviewing Cheetah Blaze about the Red Ball that's coming up. Good morning, Cheetah.
That's not until tomorrow, is it?
No, no, I'd have to. I gotta look at my. Where's the calendar? Yeah, but no, we do have an interview that was set up, and I'm trying to remember what day that we've got it set up for.
That's Friday, tomorrow.
No, Friday's Friday. Today's Wednesday, so Friday is the day after tomorrow. Okay, so I'll see you in the studio. We'll talk about that. Anyway, so big typhoon went through here the other day and obviously displaced a lot of people. And I was talking about typhoon memories, and somebody remembered Pamela in 1976 when the Red Cross came out and started handing out vouchers to lots and lots of people, and there were vouchers in practically every major storm since. So I'm wondering, will the Red Cross be doing something like that in the aftermath of this storm?
We have evolved and changed our method of assistance, Ray. We used to hand them out vouchers, and there was a time in the aftermath of Bang Songwa, we also gave them travelers checks because of the enormity of the disaster. Mm-hmm. But we have become more sophisticated since then. Now our method of assistance is we provide them with it's like a credit card. We call it a client assistance card. Mm-hmm. So we give that to them. We conduct our damage assessment. We go to their homes, and then depending on the number of children and number of people in the family, then we provide them with financial assistance with that credit card.
Right. Okay, so they
can use that, and they can use that anywhere they want, except for some items it won't work.
Yeah, so no tobacco, no alcohol, that firearms, that kind of thing. Yeah. So we want you to be able to use that to replace some of the items that were lost, or to provide some kind of comfort and shelter for you and your family, not so that you can have a party.
Ray, there was a time when the Red Cross used to replace what you lost. But we don't do that anymore. We provide you with the resources so that you can purchase the basic necessities to get you back on some semblance of normal.
Is there anybody that watches that for kind of compliance, or is that basically the honor system? You just assume that they're going to do the right thing with the money as opposed to going and buying lobster and champagne?
Well, I don't think the Red Cross has a way to police that, but, we just trust that everybody who comes to the Red Cross in the aftermath of a disaster really needs our help.
And I hope there's not abuse, because that would be a terrible thing for the people that go out of their way to support everything that the Red Cross and certainly the chapter here does. There's going to be great need from among the residents up in the north. Obviously, there are over 2,000 people that sought shelter from the winds and the rains of this typhoon that went past us. Many of them have returned to where they originally lived and found that the roof is gone, the bed is gone, everything in the house is trashed and wet. What steps should they take before they come and see you and the folks at the Red Cross?
Well, the procedure is normally when you experience some kind of damage as a result of a disaster or a typhoon or single family home fire, the first thing to do is go to their mayors. So that they can get a verification from their mayor, and then the mayor's office will fax that to us, and we take it from there. And so then we send out our volunteers so they can conduct their damage assessment.
So that's the first step. So if you live up in Dededo and you got a problem, you go find Mayor Savaras. Somebody from her office will go and track you down and verify that you've got the damage, and then it's out of your hands. It's a communication between the mayor's office and the Red Cross.
Correct.
Okay, and then you'll send somebody. You'll put somebody on the case.
The mayors know their villages, so well. So yes, we work that way. And so this afternoon we will deploy our volunteers to all 19 villages to conduct the damage assessment.
Will there be any kind of fundraising activity? I mean, I know that we've got, as I said, the Red Ball is going to be coming up here in just a little bit, and I know that that's a major fundraiser. But are you aware of any other fundraising activities with dollars specifically that are going to be donated to victims of the typhoon here on Guam?
For Mangkhut, yeah. So, well, we're always in a fundraising mode. Ray,
yes.
You know that.
Yes.
We are not federally funded nor locally funded, so we rely entirely on the generosity of the community. So, and I just want to say this because this is so important. 91 cents of every dollar that you donate to the Red Cross goes back to the community.
Mm-hmm. No, that is an important point that you make. So you're basically reinvesting in yourself. So if you're looking for a cause this week, if you've got some extra dollars laying around and you recognize that there is a need, and I hope more and more, I think people will come to note that. I think because this storm happened the way that it did, I think for the most part, there's a lot of people for whom the greatest issue is that they don't have any electricity right now. They're suffering through days with no air conditioning and internet and television. But there are a lot of people, several in the thousands, I'm sure, that have been displaced by this storm, and they're going to need our help. They don't have any place to go. They don't have any other resources other than what they might be able to get from the Red Cross and FEMA down the road.
Absolutely, and that is why, we have not had a major disaster for 16 years. So we have been blessed in that regard, but that's why we always need to be ready. The Red Cross always needs to be prepared.
Yes, I understand. So if you are on the other side of this and have some resources that you can share with the Red Cross, how do people make the donation to you?
They can write a check to the American Red Cross. We do not accept used clothing, and this is because it's all part of the healing process. So, and also we do not have the facility to store the used clothing.
There's places that you can take all of that stuff. So, yeah, best to write a check. If you got to spare $5,000 or $500 or $5, then write a check out to the American Red Cross and with a note here that you'd like it to be used for the recovery of Typhoon Mangkhut.
Designated, yes.
Yes, designated so that Cheetah will know exactly where those dollars are going to go and who in the community that you can help out. Red Ball tickets still for sale, or are you sold out already?
Red Ball tickets almost sold out, but I still have a few to sell.
One or two?
That's why we really need to work hard to make a Red Ball a big success.
It's going to be a success. You guys, don't worry about it. You got Ernie Galito's.
We're going to be complacent. We need to work hard.
Yeah, we're giving away a car. There's a Lexus that Ernie's giving away, right?
correct?
Yeah, it's a Lexus ES350. It's a Lexus ES350. You can buy the raffle tickets on sale at Atkins Kroll right now. They're open today. And then at the Red Ball, there's going to be a drawing.
The chapter, it's open today. We're always open.
Yes. Okay. All right. Cheetah, a telephone number for people that might want to.
Keep you posted.
Yeah, I'll keep you posted. What's the phone number?
472-6217.
Gotcha. Cheetah, I'll talk to you soon. And we'll get those. We'll get those tickets sold to the Red Ball. We'll get those raffle tickets sold as well. Yes, you can win a 2019 Lexus ES350 in support of the Red Cross. Raffle tickets on sale at Atkins Kroll. You can buy a car while you're there. You know, if you got the funds. Hold off on that for just a second. Drawing again September 22. You need not be present to win. Lynn Vince Borja Polino asking online here. There's a video being circulated of a terrorizing and vandalizing group of idiots that took place early this morning near my mom's house in Dededo. GPD needs to take out that trash. We don't need or want those problems here. Have you seen it? Yes, I've seen the video. We cannot play the audio of this video. Because, as you might imagine, the individual holding the camera that was involved, I understand, is an off-duty police officer. And if we played the audio, you'd be able to hear that. And then you get these idiots that are trying to get themselves deported. God, I hope we're successful getting rid of this trash. They're out terrorizing. They shot the video, unfortunately, in a vertical manner, and preference would have been horizontal. But let me play this for you so that you can see what's going on, and I'll try to narrate it on the air as a police officer rolls up on the scene. Wait a second. Now I've got. You might hear it after all. I got something making noise, and you can see a bunch of youths that are involved in some kind of an altercation, and this might have been going on over the course of several hours here. I might need to pause this because something is definitely making noise, and I don't want any of the expletives that are on this video to be able to get on the air. So let me just mute that a little bit. And so you can see off in the distance, they're banging on a car with a baseball bat, and there's some yahoo running off in that direction, and they're going to start walking over. I've seen this posted on a couple of different WhatsApp chats that I'm involved in, and there's at least one of them where somebody of a delicate demeanor said, "Please don't show that kind of thing on our WhatsApp chat anymore." It's just very, very disturbing, and it is. One of the things that you'll see is as the driver gets a little bit closer to the action here is there's at least one of these youths that is brandishing a machete. Somebody was out to do some kind of damage because he wasn't using that at night to cut down a tangan, wasn't using that as any kind of recovery. So the hope here that I have is that the video that we're talking about is clear. There's the kid with the machete, and he looks like he's about to do something. So my hope is that the video is clear enough so that the cops are able to go and effect an arrest of these guys and put them someplace where there can be some kind of justice that is dealt. And I think the justice that we have here is these guys got to go back to whatever island they're from. And that's all there is to it. I'm sorry, you're bringing a bad name to everybody from the islands that you were from. You're bringing them a bad name because you're just running around acting like idiots. There's a lot of people that come here to improve their lives.
I was going to say,
go to school.
Yeah, it looks like, if I were going to kind of put this in a nutshell, it looks like all the good ones already left and came here, and now we're getting all the bad ones because the ones that were left behind are not teaching their kids the right lessons. Yeah,
we've got a serious problem here, and here's the deal. And I don't know whether the police officer was armed at the time, but I can see in 2 or 3 places in this video where if it were me, the pistola would have been out.
Oh, absolutely.
If it was me,
as soon as he come at me with the machete, that's it.
Yeah, you're coming near me.
Just keep coming, brother. Go ahead.
And somebody is going to the hospital tonight, and it ain't going to be me. So either the guy didn't have a gun, or he was showing just an incredible amount of restraint in dealing with this issue here. It's a couple of minutes worth of very, very disturbing footage that I believe was shot by an off-duty police officer up in the Dededo area. And Did the driver get hurt? No, I don't think the driver got hurt. I get a couple of questions being asked on the Facebook Live here. Let me jump back to that. Do that to my house, you'll be shot. Yeah, I know. Mutt's got to go. Lynn asking, did the driver get hurt? I don't think he was hurt. I think they were able to drive away from it. What village is that? Somebody said maybe up in the Kaiser area. Lada Avenue, Lynn Vince is writing here today. Is Lada going to end up being the next Hemlani Apartments? Is that what's going on? So, like I said, I've got a couple of different hopes here. One of them is that we round up these mutts and put them on a plane and send them elsewhere. Some will say, well, send them back to where they came from. I don't care where they go, just anywhere but here.
And what a brazen act, too. I mean, there are certain things about the psychology of people that you learn to understand. The streets are very well lit in this neighborhood. They did not care.
No.
They were just, we're going to do
make
their
some
thing.
kind of trouble. Now, there is a companion video. I know, Lise, right? It's just some crazy stuff. And this is why people are signing up for gun classes. This is why people are going and buying guns, because you got these kind of idiots out there that see, as you point out, are brazen and have no care that anybody is going to say or do anything about it, much less somebody who identifies himself as an off-duty police officer.
I've actually run into a couple of these types up close and personal. There's just no conscience. They just don't.
Yeah,
so don't care.
You need this. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, there are more and more people that are looking for ways to protect themselves, because we've got these roving bands, or at least this roving bands of jokers that are out there, and at some point, mark my words, and I'm comfortable making this as a prediction. At some point, these guys are going to get shot. You don't bring a machete to a gunfight. If it was me, if it was most of the guys that I hang with, the first sign of a threat, the pistola would have been out and somebody would have been dispatched.
Well, going back to last year,
I don't think I would have been charged with anything. I think they'd go, yeah, it looked pretty much like Castle Doctrine to me.
Right. Yeah, and going back to last year, it turned out, Sagdal, a young man still innocent until proven guilty, but they brought a slingshot to a gunfight, and Sagdal gave him some.
Dispatched both of them.
Yes.
So it's not the first time, and I don't know whether it's fortunately or unfortunately as the case may be with him, but he had an opportunity as when they ran away after the initial assault. He had the opportunity to cool things down. Didn't, chased after them, shot them with a weapon allegedly, and that's the way that story ended up. So folks, watch out for each other, and I don't know where it is these outsiders get the idea that they can do that in this community. And hopefully the folks over at the Guam Police Department have seen this video 100 times, slowed it down to a point where we can identify somebody or some buddies and deal with it. Don't bother asking for a copy of this. Trust me, somebody in one of your Facebook chats already has it. And if they haven't posted it, just ask and they will. And they will. 9:24 in the morning. There's a little bit of traffic. As I'm looking at the gizmo right now, and most of it seems to be kind of in the central areas, as you might imagine, because the island is coming back to life. Coming back to life. We've got some schools that are open. Father Duenas and Tai is back in session. Academy of Our Lady of Guam. Santa Barbara and Dededo is open. Mercy Heights. The nursery and kindergarten. That's not where I went, is it? That's not what it was called when I was a kid. Infant of Prague, nursery and kindergarten in Tai, Mount Carmel School, Bishop Baumgartner, Maria Artero Catholic Preschool and Kinder, and Dominican Catholic School up in Jigo. If the power resumes, they might be able to get Dominican Child Development Center back in session. And schools some of them are reporting, on the Catholic side, are reporting that they've got either no water pressure, no power, or both. And they're expecting to resume class tomorrow. If Tony Diaz gets me an update, we'll pass that along to you. San Vicente in Barragata, Notre Dame in Telefofo, St. Francis Catholic School in Zotnia, where there hasn't been any power since the day before the storm, I think, and St. Anthony Catholic School in Tamuning. Yeah, so that's among the places that in the Catholic school systems. We got to talk with John Fernandez a little bit ago, and there are still the majority, I think, of the schools that were used as shelters have been cleared out, except for the Estumbo gym, and that's going to get that one should be all clear and ready to turn back into a school. The problem now is that they've got to do exactly what everybody else is doing, and going back to their shops and their businesses and their places of work and going, okay, everybody's gone now. Do we have electricity? I know we got water. What about was there any damage to the building that we've got to take care of?
Yeah, not to mention they've got to clean up all of that leftover from the people that stayed.
How much fun is that going to be?
Oh, boy.
Well, the deal is, as I understand it from the conversation, the deal is save your receipts.
Nice.
Right? Take a lot of pictures and save your receipts, because it's possible if you're John Fernandez, you'll be able to send a bill to the Department of Homeland Security and say, pay me Fen back. I have employees that had to go in there. We had to set things up. That cost money. We got to tear things down. That cost money. And so as a result of that, Department of Education, which is lean on funds to begin with, is not in a position to be able to do this for free. So if you're getting compensated at Homeland Security from FEMA, we'd like to get compensated as well. Now, they've fortunately got exactly the right person to do this for them. I don't know if you've ever met Telling Taitano.
No.
But she has got a mind for numbers, and so she handles all of the spreadsheets over the Department of Education, and she will make it so that there will be an accurate reporting of funds required from the Department of Education if there's any kind of federal recompense. At this time, I don't know if there's going to be any kind of federal recompense. I know that Congresswoman Madeline Berdallo has asked for attention from FEMA and the President of the United States. My understanding is that Eddie Calvo will be doing something along the same lines, if he has not yet done it already, and try to get some kind of big bucks out of FEMA to help the island recover. Because we got that Trump tax cut thing as well. So it's like that. You see. 9:28 in the morning. Let me see what are the other stories in the table of contents that I have had a chance to play around with. Estumbo Gym remains open for those displaced by the typhoon. Okay, that's obsolete. GDOE classes canceled on September the 12th. Well, it's 9:30 on September the 12th. Okay, that's obsolete. I miss political gossip. Where's the sad music? Play the sad music. Not that one, the sad music. It's 9:28 in the morning, and it's Wednesday. And I have had to talk about weather since 9:28 on Friday morning. I've done 3 full radio shows, half of a radio show at night, and what have we talked about? Weather and recovery and condition this and condition that. Yeah, I get it. That's important stuff. But I miss political gossip. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we return to the realm of political gossip because we achieve a landmark, a milestone. A milestone, I think, is more of the correct way to put it. There will be a meeting with the Guam Election Commission tonight where they will certify and make permanent the results of the primary election. No. I believe that it will be some kind of a catalyst. I think there'll be a catalytic moment, and we'll mark it down. We'll say at 5:30 on Wednesday night. That was when the real race for Adelup begins. Because we will know then whose names will appear on the ballot. And for the most part, my understanding is that it is going to be Lou and Josh. Because they got not significantly more votes than Frank and Lou. No, Frank and Alicia. They got not significantly more, but more. And then you've got Ray Tenorio. And nobody run against him on the Republican side, as you might recall from the primary election that, I don't know, when was that? About 100 years ago? Feels like it, doesn't it? Now, here's the interesting political gossip that's floating around. I know that the Democrats, as in the party, are doing everything that they can to try to woo Frank and Alicia away from at least a couple of political action guys. Come to Jesus. Come back to the bosom of the party.
Jesus Day.
We know that tantalizing. It's tantalizing. The idea that there might be a groundswell of support from among a whole bunch of people that want you to run as a write-in, to run a write-in campaign. We don't want you to run a write-in campaign. You signed that document that said that you weren't going to. And if somebody came to you and supported you in a write-in campaign, not of your own design, that you would repudiate it.
Yes.
That you would deny them and say, no, I will not. Frank and Alicia came out just a few days ago and said that they would not stand in the way of a write-in campaign. No! Yeah, and so the Democrats, as I said, are trying to woo them back. Because the concern is this. And the concern is this, is that while the Democrats are fighting amongst themselves, that are trying to either prevent the rift or fill in a rift that might be caused by the bad blood generated by Frank and Alicia not getting in front of this this write-in campaign, that it will virtually assure Ray Tenorio a continuation, just a move from one office to the other. Lieutenant Governor... What a world, what a world. And, you know, and I can see Ray running around going, well, what would be so bad about that? And you want to talk about another catalytic tectonic moment. If Ray Tenorio goes from lieutenant governor to governor.
The first time, yeah.
It'll be the first time in the history of elected politics on Guam that anybody's ever been able to do that. Joe Ada was a lieutenant governor and became governor of Guam, but he sat out an election cycle. He was Uncle Ricky, no, not Uncle Ricky, Paul's guy, and then Paul got somebody else, and it was Joe, right? Yeah, I can't remember all of the details. But anyway, so Joe wasn't able to go from one doorstep to the other like Ray could possibly do. That's not what the Democrats want. The Democrats want the following. They want a Democrat in Antelope. They want a Democrat in Washington. And they want 15 Democrats over at the legislature. And we'll still screw it up. I'll just tell you that right now. It'll still be screwed up. There will still be a way for people to fight. Even if we had all of those numbers in the right places, there would still probably be a lack of cooperation between those branches. Just saying, it's just going to happen, right? So there's now, as people are talking about things, every little thing is now thrown back in to the political gossip conversation. And you might be going, what political gossip conversation? Ray, people are worried about getting their power back on. They're worried about getting their kids to school and getting them internet so they can play Fortnite. For heaven's sakes, nobody's watching the political scene. Yes, there's always somebody watching the political scene. So the back channel guys are coming back to me, and they sent me. I got this link yesterday of Ray Tenorio riding the airplane, doing the flyover to see what the damage
Storm
was,
assessment,
and they're going, okay, guess what? This is one of those things that we need to have our candidates talking about and doing. So if Lou and Josh are the banner holders for the Democratic Party on Guam, they have got to neutralize all of the free press that Ray Tenorio has gotten. Ray Tenorio, when they made the executive order on the declaration of the emergency, who read the order? It was Ray. You know who could have read the order? Eddie could have read the order.
Sure.
He's still the governor of Guam. But here, Ray, you read this in front of the cameras.
Practice.
Yeah, here, read this. Yeah, that's good. All the cameras getting Ray reading this. You gonna put that on the 6 o'clock news? Awesome. What was the response from Lou and Josh? Crickets. What's the response? Have anybody heard from Lou and Josh? Anybody hear from Frank and Alicia? So there's a little bit of how do I want to say that? There's kind of a protocol. That there's no campaigning in times of recovery and disaster.
Yeah,
there shouldn't be. And there shouldn't be. Hogwash. Hogwash. If you want it, then you got to get it. I'll give you another example of great campaigning, even during the time. So there were a whole bunch of candidates that had signs up prior to the storm, and a whole bunch of candidates took those signs down and immediately posted to social media what great stewards of the community they were because they took their signs down. Yeah, look at me. I'm all for the safety of the people of the community of Guam that I love so much that I'm willing to forego the chance that that my signs won't be seen in condition 2. I'm taking those things down because I'm for the people. I'm for the safety of the community. And let's boost this post while we're at it. Let me throw $20 and boost this post. Hey, look at me! And it was also cool because some of the other guys were cross posting with each other. Hey, did you see that my friend there has taken down his signs? What a great pillar of community that they happen to be. I'm just saying, I'm missing a little bit of that political gossip. It is what it is. But we'll get back into some of that. We'll get back into some of that, I think, tomorrow when we've got some news from the Guam Election Commission. And all it needs to be is simply these are the names that are going on the ballot. It's 9:36 in the morning. My producer says that's enough political gossip for today. Get back to weather or whatever in the small talk portion of the program, and that's going to be coming up ahead. It's 9:36. That's iConnect time. 888-8888 is the telephone number. Find out why they are the practical choice. Not that they think they are. They are the practical choice. Great rates on mobile plans, great rates on internet, great rates on the exclusive to iConnect push-to-talk system.
Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just stop into any Circle K, sign up for our Power Pass rewards program, and after your purchase of 15 cups of premium coffee, any size, you get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details. Get a 20-ounce stainless steel Circle K Coffee Club tumbler. Just swipe your Power Pass key fob when you purchase Circle K Premium Coffee, any size. And after 15 cups, you'll get your tumbler for free. While supplies last, conditions apply. See store for details.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
What am I looking at? Ismail, what are you sending me? What is that? All right. Big Abeta, Chris writing in. I was talking about guys, being able to take advantage of what they call earned media. And incumbents always get earned media because they're incumbents. If Frank wanted to, he could probably send out an unlimited number of press releases just to keep his name in the news. Ray, obviously, over at the governor's office, unlimited access to news media because he's the lieutenant governor. Guy goes on an airplane, flies up and down Jigo. And that's a news story. And that will turn into something on Facebook. And is that campaigning? Not necessarily. He's doing the job of somebody at the governor's office. So he's got the earned media. Albert Eliason reporting, my power in Pocket is on. EPAN friends are powerless. That almost sounds like a cartoon. I'm going to say that in the cartoon voice. EPAN friends, you're powerless. Where's your God now? Albert. What else do I have? My buddy Jared writing in this morning says, thanks for keeping the news flowing. Politics, news, updates. You are a blessing to this island. Pastor Jared, you would know a blessing, and I appreciate you saying so. And then Ismail sending me a link to something that says that the Guam Election Commission gets it 100% wrong after recount a Democratic nominee. Send that. Do me a favor. Send that to the WhatsApp. Send the graphic to the WhatsApp so I can post it. 988-5874. 988-5874. Because I'm going to want to post that and send that out to a couple of people and make sure that everybody can see that. I'm sorry. That's actually the funniest. It might be the funniest thing that I'm going to read. You are a hoot. I tell you what. Who did I get? Oh, Simon Sanchez from the Consolidated Commission on Utilities Disclosure. Simon's like my best friend, and he's running for a seat on the Consolidated Commission on Utilities again. So,
hey,
I got to say that because otherwise people will go, wait a second, that's not necessarily earned media. It kind of is. And I'm reaching out to him this morning because we were talking earlier. Somebody, like it was the most brilliant idea they ever had in their lives on Facebook, said, hey, we ought to put the power underground. And I wanted to say, I remember once upon a time that there was an offer, wasn't there, by somebody in the federal government to help us pay to underground the power system, but for whatever reason we turned it down. Do you remember what was the story on that, Si?
Well, I don't recall that offer, and it hasn't been done in that offer never came in the 16 years I've been on the CCU. But the main reason is the cost is huge. I think when we did a study in the 90s, when I was on the PUC, and even since then, it's over $1 billion to harden all of Guam from Jigo to Molessu, right? And so you really have to make some judgment calls about, $1 billion. You imagine what your base rate power bill would be if we had to go borrow $1 billion. And so we've gone to the cement poles, and the cement poles is a much more reasonable approach. We had 95%, and what are you seeing in the storm recovery? Wooden pole, the last remaining wooden poles are failing, but most cement poles have held up most of the time, and that was sort of a bang for the buck. We could do $1 billion, it would be perfect. We could be like Tokyo, but boy, that borrowing would be huge. We've borrowed about $500 million now. Imagine $1 billion on top of that. It just became uneconomic, and I've never heard of anybody offer to underground all of Guam. Now, having said that, San Vitores is underground all the way to the hospital. Anderson ran their own line to the Veneto combustion turbines. The airport is underground. We have about 60% of our circuits in central Guam and underground. Right, but one of the concerns we all have is some of them failed in this typhoon, and we'll do the postmortem afterwards. Right now, just a thank you to everyone who's just hanging in there. It's tough to be without power, and we're all going through it, and I know some people are frustrated, but the crews are out there. GPA is aware, and they're working as fast as humanly possible to get it back on, and we will do it until the last person has power.
Do we know who the last person is this time? Have we identified the last? Have we identified the last? There ought to be a prize. We ought to do that. Is there a way that we can track that, Si, with the last meter that goes on back into the system? So that I don't know. I'll work with a couple of clients and see if we can get stay at Dusitani or something. I think that'd be crazy fun.
Well, we'll leave that up to you, and you can ask Art who was the last one. I mean, right now we're just trying to get everybody back on that isn't already on. As you know, you do the major sweep of turning on circuits because, we still only have 2/3 of our circuits all of our substations are now energized, which is good. Now we can get to people. But of our feeder lines, which come from substations, they still only had 2/3 wired up as of this morning, up from 40% last night. So they worked through the night. But that still means 1/3 of the island is still without power, and you're hearing it from Molessu all the way up to Jigo. Paris Acres doesn't have power, and yet there's power in Jigo. So they're circling back and trying to get out there. Remember the ceremony when the 20 apprentices were graduated just a month or two ago? Yes. All those guys are climbing poles right now, getting OJT big time and getting better at it. But we're just hanging in there with the crews. John B., Melinda, Moffness, and all that group they're watching it. We get periodic reports. Check the website. I'm glad you interviewed Art. I think the media's done a great job of getting the word out. But just I feel bad for everybody without power.
Well, we interviewed her for no other reason to get Heidi on the line yesterday, just to find out how things were going with GWA, and to the degree that you and I've had this conversation, I'm really, really delighted that GWA is not having any issues. We didn't do a boil water notice yesterday and today.
Yeah, that's not an issue. We do have some pockets. Pago Bay has a problem because the pump and the generators we have there aren't sized the way we want them to get that going. I know some parts in Nimitz Hill where you're on an isolated line and there's not a backup generator to that pump. But the great overwhelming majority of the major pump stations for water and wastewater work, the protocol has been set up for a number of years, actually since David Craddock days back in the early 2000s, when we agreed that when a storm comes, we go off the grid, actually. We leave the grid so that in case it goes down, you can't send somebody out in the middle of a storm. but a generator can keep running. And so that protocol has worked out very, very well. We still have some isolated pockets, but most people continue to have water and wastewater services, the overwhelming majority, 99%, and that's a good thing. So we've overcome that, but we still got to battle, with the distribution system, and Mother Nature takes over once the storm gets here. And
well, I mean, but the other thing is, like we lost Ugam, and nobody in the South knew Ugam was offline.
We didn't lose Ugam. We GWA, we took down Ugam when the turbidity, remember that word?
Well, yeah. But that's what I meant, is the turbidity got high, and we shut the system down, but nobody in the South knew.
Right, because we have enough water in the system, in the tanks in the South, to keep water flowing, and we're about to put a 2-day tank at Ugam to further insulate us against losing water down south. So, but all of this takes money, all of this takes time, all of this is in your rates, and people are on the one hand saying, hey, I want my rates low. On the other hand, I want reliability, I want this protection, and we just keep trying to work it. None of these problems are solved overnight, and they do take time. And right now, it's just get people back their power. That's the most important thing. And thank you to what you're doing. And Bob will be on this afternoon to continue up to. He doesn't have power. He's up in Paris Acres, and they're underground. So something's gone on before it gets to Paris Acres.
And then there might be the point that we've got to make here on the point is just putting things underground doesn't necessarily mean that everything is going to work all the time. Barragata Heights was struggling with power yesterday, and that has been an underground system since it was built in 1974. So
right. And underground systems are harder to fix when they go down because they're underground.
Yeah, ask the cable guys. Ask the guys that I got to run cable through there. Anyway, so I just wanted to find out if there was anything. It just seemed to me that once upon a time there was an offer made and we turned it down, and for whatever reason, but the dollars and cents behind the construction of concrete poles does make sense.
In the 30 years I've been involved with the utilities, from PUC to CCU, I am not aware of anyone offering to underground all of Guam and having it turned down. I mean, that would be silly, but I don't think anybody would have ever offered it. It's a huge number.
Okay.
It's an unrealistic number.
I'm going to run and finish up the program. Without your help, I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Greg. Great job. Keep it up. Thank you.
Certainly will. Certainly will. Well, it's because it's fun. I'm telling you, this is a good time for me. If for no other reason, because I am not the funniest guy in the room. I'm not even the smartest guy in the room, although I like to think so. I will defer to other brain power when it's like weather. When it comes time for weather, I used to be completely comfortable talking about weather until I started working with you. And you're smarter at weather than I am. So I don't have to talk about weather. I can do the forecast. I'm smart enough to be able to interview the guys from the National Weather Service. But when it comes to looking at the maps and being able to make some interpretation and read into it a little bit more so that it's easier to paint a picture and help people understand, I got you now. So you're now my smart weather dude.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
What else are you good at?
I cook a pretty good omelet.
You know what we were talking about the other day? It's just
I drink beer.
Random guy talk, right? We're looking at windows, and I've got a project where I've got to redo the weather stripping and the caulking in the windows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so you know how to do that stuff.
I can caulk. Yes,
You're a caulking fool.
I'm more of an outdoor home builder kind of guy. Anything outside I can usually take care of. It's the inside stuff that can give me a little trouble.
Because every time I get that feeling, I've done this with, I've got the bathtub needs new waterproof caulk around it as well. Yeah. So I've done that job before. Several times, in fact, because I'll do the job and I'll think I'm doing it great, and I think, the bead looks perfect for about, 2 inches.
Right.
And then I don't know. I lose the stream, if you will.
But see, it's okay because the wet tip of your finger
can
take care of all of that and just make it all go away.
But I want it to.
You got to keep the fingertip wet.
Yeah.
Got to. Yeah.
But it's got to be very wet, otherwise the caulk will stick to it.
Exactly.
And then it would just.
Then you undo the whole thing.
Then you get the razor blade, and you start all over again. And I hate that. I avoid that like the plague. And unfortunately, in the project that I'm working on right now, I've got to do it. And as I said, I'm not the funniest guy either. The funniest guy is whoever thought of this. And it is. I put it up while Simon was talking, because I know there's people that don't like it when I put Simon on the radio, so I had to put something up there to make him happy. So this is the current meme that's floating around the internet, and it says, "Breaking news: GEC RNC gets 100% gets it 100% wrong. After recount, Democratic nominee is actually Senator Dennis Rodriguez. So I'm gonna get a note from Pretty Ashley. Says, "What? Why did you put that up there?" It's funny. It's a funny thing. Will there be more like that? There probably will be. I'll leave this up here for a second while I take a look at some of the Facebook comments and figure out how we're going to wrap up the program.
Taste the sizzle at Chili's with our new fajita flavors. Our signature fajitas are served with sliced bell peppers, caramelized onions, topped with chipotle garlic butter, and chopped cilantro. Build your fajita with over 16 ounces of tender grilled chicken, juicy steak, and a dozen pieces of seasoned grilled shrimp in the family fajita trio. All served with warm flour tortillas and fresh toppings like mixed cheese, guacamole, salsa, and pico de gallo. Experience bold, sizzling fajita flavors only at Chili's. More life happens here.
What would you do with unlimited internet? With Docomo Pacific, the possibilities are endless. Docomo Pacific is throwing off the data caps so you can enjoy more of the things you love. Watch, stream, download, and play with no end in sight. Stop by any of our stores or check out DocomoPacific.com to learn more. Life becomes limitless with Docomo Pacific. Better together.
It's 9:52 in the morning, and Joe Cruz asking on Facebook, will FEMA cover the beer loss due to refrigeration loss? Asking for me, not me. Sometimes I go asking for a friend, which is nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I'm really asking for myself. 9:52, and the answer is probably no. There has been, though, in the history of typhoon recovery here on Guam, there have been times where they had offered to replace help buy you groceries. I forget the details. I have to dig it up in my notes. But I remember one year where they said that you could apply and I don't know, get like $75 from some government agency, and they would help you restock your refrigerator because that's what will happen if you lose power long enough. And you got little kids that open up the refrigerator and like they're at the grocery store, just looking around, what's to eat, where's the snacks? I put pickles in here somewhere. Mom, where's the pickles? And the whole time the refrigerator is open, losing valuable cold air. And the longer you go without electricity and the longer the refrigerator is not running with cold air in it, then the food's going to go bad. And the rule is, and it's a very simple rule, when in doubt, throw it out.
Yeah.
If you have the inkling in your head that maybe this meat's been thawed just a little bit too long.
You don't want to get that kind of sick.
Yeah. Then you go, well, I'll just cook it for a long time. No. You don't want to get that kind of sick. So just throw it out. So question, I like to buy my yogurt in a little bit of volume, and I just noticed that it's expired.
Oh. Yeah, expired.
Does yogurt go bad?
Yeah.
How much time do you have from what the day it says best if consumed by to when you eat it? It's a little bit more. It's a little bit tingly in my mouth, but but it still tastes like yogurt. That is to say, it still tastes like the orange sickle pops. That's my favorite one. If you see me at the grocery store and if it's down to like the last one, I'll fight you for it. I'll fight you for it.
Sealed yogurt will last 1 to 2 weeks past the sell-by date.
Oh, I'm still good. Oh, wait. It's September now, right?
Yeah.
Crap. All right. Note to self. Go get some more. 9:54 in the morning. So what there was something else I wanted to talk about. Oh, thanks very much for acknowledging that. Yeah, every once in a while I'll get it right. On the Facebook Live, if somebody was talking about their washing machine. And the fact that they just got a new washing machine that is already broken because of power surges. Wow. So if you're not using your washing machine and you've been watching the thing go, your lights go up and down here in the last couple of days, I would disconnect it from the mains. I'd pull it right out because even though it's not on, it's still attached, and there are still very sensitive electronics inside the front panel of your washing machine that will go south, rendering it useless.
The same goes if you have one of the newer air conditioners. Yeah, got to unplug that thing because those circuits in there will get fried, and all that temperature control and all that stuff.
Yeah, you know what happens when they break, the motherboard will go bad on those systems, and they probably will not have the motherboard here on Guam.
Oh, of course not.
I had one of those things, and the guy had to find the motherboard, and thankfully everything was still under warranty, so it was at their expense. And he found the replacement motherboard in South America.
Wow.
And had them UPS it from South America, I don't know, to the States somewhere, and then DHL to Guam. Cost a fortune to get this motherboard. The shipping cost more than the motherboard itself.
Or more than the air
and like I said, just not even here. Yeah, but a great air conditioner.
Oh, okay. It was worth saving.
Well, the problem wasn't that the motherboard had gone bad or that there was a power glitch. This is another problem. You see this a lot in the aircon business. Ask to the guys. The problem was that a gecko had gotten inside to where the electronics are.
Yeah, that's not good.
And there are some fairly large capacitors inside of the motherboard, and the capacitor's job is to store electricity. Right. And so when something goes across the terminals of the capacitor, pop.
Yeah.
And so the gecko gets fried, the capacitor gets fried, and there's usually 2 or 3 things on either side of the capacitor that will go bad as well, rendering it useless. So you can replace the capacitor, but the other parts, usually little surface-mounted devices or IC chips, have been fried as well. So forget about it. Unless you're really, really good, it's not
you
worth the time.
You almost need to have one of those in your repair kit, your diode repair kit.
I've actually got a capacitor checker.
Do.
Yeah,
I figured you did.
I got all that stuff, man.
Can I borrow a hammer?
No, actually, hammer I don't have. It's the one thing I don't have. I've got every kind of screwdriver there is. I've got meters and testers and all kinds of stuff here. But you come into my office and ask me for a hammer, I use my gun.
Listeners, tune in to learn more about you.
It's 9:57 now. All right, getting back to the pile of the table of contents here. Do I have at least a little bit of more political gossip today? Nothing.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot there. Just the election.
All right, Ken's got an interesting, Ken LG, we don't have time to call him up. He'll call Bob later on. But he's got an interesting editorial in one of the newspapers. I think he's in the Daily Post today, so you might want to pick that up and pick around inside Ken LG's brain. He still hasn't let go of the Frank and Alicia write-in thing.
Oh, no, I think it's his mission right now.
Certainly sounds like it.
At least until, what, to later today?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll call Bob, or Bob will find him. I don't know. GEC set to count absentee provisional votes. As we've said, that will at least give us a little bit more confidence in what the vote was in the recount. Doesn't look like there's going to be anything that is going to be significantly changed. The provisional ballots were counted, and none of them count. And the absentee ballots are all supposed to be coming in. Telena Nelson calling the E911 Homeland Committee hearing meeting. When is this going to be? Tomorrow at the Congress building in Hagutnya. This is going to be where we find out more about something that the FCC is very, very concerned about. We had the guy, Michael Bryan from the FCC, on the radio here talking about and expressing his concerns with the government of Guam's use or abuse of E911 funds. And so they're going to have a public hearing. Now, Chief Joyce Nicholas has already said, I'm glad we're going to have a public hearing on E911 funds. I think we need to have a public hearing on E911 funds. And then he said something that kind of hackled me. He said, hackled the bones on my back. He says, because I want to find out if the telecom companies are actually remitting the right amount of money to us. Is it possible that they are holding back on some of this as well? Considering we're the ones with the federal ticket, considering, and when I say we, it's because my partner company is iConnect. Considering we're the guys that actually have federal tickets, trust me, we're very, very careful to ensure that we are collecting and remitting to the right place the exact amount of money that we are supposed to be collecting and remitting from the customers. So I don't know about any of that stuff, babe. At 9:59 and change, I gotta go. Bob Klitsky's on the radio at 4 this afternoon. So for Mindy Uggan from the Guam Daily Post and Michael Knight from next door over here and Blake Watson from next door there, this is Ray Gibson saying thanks for listening. We're KUSG Agana. Here's Fox News.
Head heading to higher ground. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Hurricane Florence barreling toward the southeast. The National Hurricane Center says more than 5.4 million people on the East Coast are under hurricane warnings or watches.
The forecast shows the center of the hurricane approaching the coast and likely coming ashore late Thursday into Friday. Expect it to remain very strong.